menace to society. That's why I'm yelling the word finally. You must have been not ever think of trying me. I'm trying to be as calm as I can be, but the anger that's inside of me forces me to release the inner beast that resides in me, killing off the MIC. When I spit this fire heat, these devils are conspiring to get rid of all inspiring influences in their name. What that fool say? F that. Run that back. What that fool say? Yeah, I'm a monster. Yeah, I'm a monster. Come on, yeah, I'm a monster. Celebration, people. I'm a monster. Put your hands up. Yeah, I'm a monster. And it's the whole world I'm finna conquer. I'm a monster. I always stand tall, I never falter. I'm a monster. Come on, put your glasses in the air, wave around your middle fingers like you just go. When they take a look at me, all they see is a menace to society. That's why I'm yelling the word violently. When they take a look at me, all they see is a menace to society. That's why I'm yelling the world defiantly. These busters better not ever think of trying me. I try to be as calm as I can be, but the anger that's inside of me forces me to release the inner beast that resides in me, killing off the MIC. When I spit this fire heat, these devils are conspiring to get rid of all inspiring influences in the game that's in dire need of Ant Wild's realness. Spasm when I spill this. Wow. Yeah, man, it's coming. You know, I recorded like 2 hours, about 2 hours ago, of some fire stuff that I was going to say. And unfortunately, I wasn't recording. So we had to run that back again because, man, I don't know who that dude is. But whoever this is, he's, man, that's right there. So be prepared nonetheless, because it's coming. It's coming. The thunder is coming. The storm is coming. July 26th. Buckle your seatbelts. Anybody who's watched Another Mother, buckle your seatbelts. Lisa Renee. It's pretty much a one-woman show with a lot of flair and attitude and charisma and style and depth and authenticity. And I am the music director of such show. So she is the bomb, and my job is to sit there and help her detonate the bomb. I said that on an episode, and that's what I mean. So July 26th, 2025, Las Vegas, Nevada. Buckle your seatbelts. It's at the Space. Show starts at 8 p.m. Get your tickets. Get your coffee. Get your tea. Get your life. Get whatever you're gonna do. Be there, because it's gonna be really, really good. It's an awesome show, and as the music director, my job is help to put some smack on it. Hot pause. You know, if pause needs to be said, I know we're in the pause era. I don't know when it needs to be said, when it don't need to be said. You know, I'm from the old school, and we said stuff, and you know what I mean? It didn't have to be under scrutiny that way. However, you know, so that's my like con to the pause movement. And I love Camden Mace. Camden Mace is dope. Hey, I like your story. Yo, listen, I get the whole thing. Jones predicted the power of podcasts. Jamie Jones, my man Jamie Jones, shout out. He predicted the power of podcasts like 2012, 2013, and we were on the cusp of being ahead and life happens and we didn't do so, but he was saying that, and in the spirit of that, Cam and Mace, you guys occupy an awesome space in the podcast world. So I'm giving you shout outs, but I'm just saying I don't want to have to feel like I got to say pause after everything. But to the defense of the pause movement, when you hear certain things, you'd be like, oh, damn, pause. You know what I mean? So I get it too. You know what I mean? Like, you'd be like, pause. You know what I'm saying? Like, dang, pause. So I get it. I understand. I'm just saying it's going to have that smack on it. Like the slapper. I'm the NorCal slapper. That's smack on it. But pause if it means whatever it's supposed to not mean. Pause if it means whatever it's supposed to not mean. So pause on that. So July 26th, it's going to be the smack on it. It's going to be very versatile. There's a lot of different places that it goes. It's a very well constructed show, and then after that, then there's going to be another event coming after that because it's going to be somebody's going to be releasing an album. You know what I'm saying? It might be the person you're looking at, all debonair. You know what I'm saying? And so then the album project is done after that. I know a lot of y'all that see me on social seen that I posted. The album was completed. Had to go back in and do a couple things, but the main thing I was waiting on is I had to get clearance on a couple things because I'm trying to play the game straight up. I don't want no problems. I use certain things that had interpolations, not samples. People, just a quick little music lesson. For anybody who wants to know the difference, don't let me front like I'm all no be it all, but I do know what I'm talking about in this instance here. So sample and interpolation. Sample is if I just take something, I and I use the exact record. That's sample. So that's not only are you got to get credit from the writer and the performance arts clearance, which is usually the writers of the song, but then you got to get the sound recording clearance, which is usually through the record company. Now, the record company probably will have something to do with the publishing as well, but the fee won't be as high because then in interpolation, you're doing your own rendition of something that already exists and you're paying homage to that and you're paying to get that cleared. But a sample, you're not doing that. Sample, you're doing the whole thing. You're like, if I had a Jigga song, like for instance, even if like all the hot girls better bring them out, all the that Ti song, bring them out, like that sick ass sample. That was sick. I love it. You know what I'm saying? It was sick. Um, but that is a sample. He's actually using Jay's voice. An interpolation would be if Ti or somebody else, did that. Now it's a rendition of that, but you know what I'm saying? It's recognizing that it's off of that existing work, but it's its own work in itself because you're doing it original. So then that's not usually as costly as actually clearing the sample. So, you know what I mean? That's just a music lesson. Take that for what you want. Hey, that's all I'm doing here. It's just Ant Wild talking my your mouth. You know what I'm saying? This is all this is. So this is the first rendition of it. It's under the umbrella of I don't know what the fuck y'all doing, but right now this is currently what the fuck I'm doing. You know what I'm saying? All y'all that know me and seen that, this is another version of that. I got roof. So that's that. So then the music, you heard the music. Shout out to Elok. Shout out to Elok. Shout out to Elok. He produced that. My brother Elok, my man Elok. It's funny too, because when you see Elok's one of my favorite producers to ever walk planet Earth. I put him up there with everybody. I tell him that all the time. Elok, I'm telling the world right now. What I've already told you. I put him up there with anybody. Anybody that I think is great, he's up there. I mean, and we can just go. I'll just name names. I'm going to miss people, but if like all the Timberland, Dre, Rick Rock, DJ Quick, Pharrell, um, DJ Premier. You know what I'm saying? Um, and I'm missing a whole bunch of people. You know what I'm saying? But like Rick Rock, like a lot of like I say Rick Rock because a lot of people
they may know Rick Rock, especially industry people, because he's done a lot of tracks that you like. You know what I'm saying? Like he's done a lot of tracks. Yeah, I changed the game that we supposed, change the game that we supposed. Chicken sick in the house, aha, sick. Get your wig pushed back by the wig. Hey, that's a slapper. We all know that's a slap. That's a straight slap. That's Rick Rock. You know what I'm saying? Shout out to Rick Rock. That's Rick Rock. So I always want to make sure I mention people like that. That's why, I mean, I named a lot of the successful ones that people know, but I was trying to think of, people that like are super dope that like don't get a lot of the like Soundwave. I mean, that's Kendrick's production team, but like they are sick with it. Like, but even other people that do. I was trying to think of the other producers. So sorry, producers. I'll probably think of y'all. I'll probably just do something. My secret favorite producers. Make sure that I'm shouting out the ones that I want to shout out. So sorry if I'm not able to think of y'all off the spot the way I am, but the people I did name are still dope all in itself. But my point to that is Elo, I put up there with anybody. I put him up there. I think put him up there with anybody. You know what I'm saying? I put up and Wild up there with anybody. You know what I'm saying? Like, I mean, because hey, listen, and that's being, biased, but it's being true too. You know what I'm saying? You'll see when it comes, and that's not even, that's just saying I'm paying homage to all the people that are dope. Q-Tip, right? Um, one of the best. Hey, Q-Tip silently is one of the. Hey, Q-Tip. Hey, listen, man. The LL. Hey, man. The Force. LL Cool J. The Force. The Force album. The Force. I'm gonna do. Hey, because I'm gonna be doing album reviews too. Well, I might just stick everything in this. I might stick it all in this album review. I might. It might just all be one. I'm over here talking like I'm gonna do three or four. Maybe I'll just do one. And what I want to do with this one is I want to. Uh, when the playoffs is going, I want to do them every day, do a review of the playoffs and whatnot. We're gonna get to all that. There's actually a game going on right now. I might be looking around and I might be commenting on the game as we speak. Oh, game is taking a change. Let's go. Let's okay, good. Game's taking a change. So with that said, um, with that said, um, the LL Cool J, Q-Tip, he's another one of them, right? The Force. The reason why I went on that tangent, sorry, is because the Force is off the chain. So I was saying that I'm gonna start doing movie reviews and things like that. But like I put Eloc up there with that. You hear the music. That was my whole point of going down there. Sorry, y'all. I'm gonna be going back and forth. Like I say, I'm coming back. I'm giving it what I got. You know what I'm saying? And it is what it is. But so I'm gonna do that. I might do an album review because things like that, like The Force was a really good album, but a lot of people didn't really, I don't want to say because it did. People were on it. The Murdergram dude with him and M, bananas. You know what I'm saying? Bananas. Bananas. The whole album is really good. It's really well engineered. LL's doing his thing. Q-Tip's doing his thing. I mean, he does the whole album and he goes all different places. Like it's very much Q-Tip, but he made sure to completely LL did a good job. I was always curious to hear this album because I wanted to hear what Q-Tip and a 2024, I think 2024 LL Cool J would sound like. And it's a really good representation of both of them at that particular point in time that they made the record, that they made the album, like from front to back. Like L is killing it. You know what I'm saying? I don't know. Pause. I don't know. I don't know. But L is killing it. Like literally, really, like not even like, oh man, L killing it like for LL. No, I'm talking about like I play it with people. Like I played it with my sister. I played it with my queen. I played it with my boy Twizzle. I played it. Anybody I played, they'd be like, yo, is this L? And I'd be like, yeah, son. You know what I'm saying? L is getting it done. They like, yo, this L. I'm like, yo, this L. This is ladies love. But I always tell people, ladies love always been about that smoke. He been about the smoke. He just ladies love. But he been on some hip hop. He been about that smoke. You know what I'm saying? He been about that smoke. Will Smith. Hey, listen. So it's funny. I'm gonna put my little Will Smith review in here too because I was gonna do a little second one, but it just only because of age. I'm not putting them two together at all. Only because of age, right? And LL has stayed on. No matter what L has done, he hasn't. been too far removed from the music. And it's not like Will hasn't done music, because he has, but there's different versions of music. I feel personally, and Anthony Charles, yeah, boy, yeah, boy, yeah, boy. There's personally places that Will Smith, I think, would have just gone more in depth musically had he not been an actor on the mega star status that he was on, right? And still is on. I'm saying was. He still, I mean, Will still slowly but surely will, you know what I mean? Because Will got the goods. You know what I'm saying? Let's just keep it a buck. He got the goods. So, he's human. He made a mistake. It was terrible, all condemnable, everything you can imagine. I didn't like it. I certainly didn't like two people I'm a fan of in that position. I don't like when two people that I'm a fan of beef. I don't like it. You know what I'm saying? Like, you know what I mean? I was fans of Hov and Nas. I didn't like that y'all was beefing. I like you both. You know what I'm saying? Like, what y'all beefing for? That don't make no sense. Hey, I don't know all the ins and outs. I'm just saying, from what I see, like, come on, I didn't like it. Personally, as a fan, I didn't like it. Yeah, I didn't like it. So, but I say that to say, so the LL go get the force. Will Smith, and I know I was talking about music. I know I went on one. And I was talking about music because I was talking about, we started with music, and I was talking about Eloke, and then we went to the producers. And then as a result, naming the producers, I started describing things. I named Q-Tip, then I went down this thing here. So I understand. But stay with you, boy. We just chilling. You know what I'm saying? I'm just talking my shut your mouth. So the Will Smith, I listened. Here's the thing. It got all these bad reviews. Well, I don't know if it got bad reviews. Did it get bad reviews, or was it just underwhelming as far as, sales and album equivalents and Spotify's and things of that nature? Was it really just that? You know what I mean? Like, I don't want to put a bad buck on it. Like, it just, I know it wasn't the most received, right? I know it wasn't there was just, like, I know Tony Rock was talking, making fun of the album that just didn't really, do the most or whatever, right? So I'm just kind of looking to see kind of how it did sales and whatnot. But anyway, my thing on the Will Smith is, I don't want to get too caught up in it. I'm just talking my shit. Now, like I said, I'm gonna get to some sports stuff. Let me look back at the game here. Okay, it's getting crucial. I might have to get in front of the game. We might have to just do it like that, and might have to just be talking as I'm watching the game. See, again, I told y'all I did this 2 hours earlier, right? And for 2 hours, so I recorded for 2 hours, and then it was about it's 9:15 p.m. Eastern Standard Time, April 30th, Wednesday, 2025, right? And so I had started recording. Big shot, big basket. I had started recording at like what is it called? About 4:45, 4:50, maybe around 5, right? Nah, 4:45, 4:50. And so when I was done recording, I had only planned on going like 25, 30 minutes. And when I was done recording, it was like in the middle of the Warrior game. So I was like, okay, I want to watch the Warrior game. I'm gonna watch this Laker game. It was a great recording. I did some such phenomenal stuff. I hope I can only half deliver what I was giving y'all in the one that you're never gonna see, unfortunately. But uh so now the Lakers and the Timberwolves game is on. It's crunch time right now. It's 82-82, 10:33. So anyway, I'm gonna talk mine, but I might move it just to be watching it and I still be able to talk and look at the thing at the same time. I might comment on the game. I might do that, but right now I'm gonna stay right here and just keep doing what I'm doing. So Will Smith's album, based on a true story, is, you know, it's a good, this is going to sound terrible. See, yeah, I'm looking at like the critical receptions, 2 out of 10, 4 out of 10, mostly negative reviews from critics, and whatever, you know, I, here's what I will say. That can be discouraging. If I'm Will it could be discouraging only because I will say this. Now we can talk about whatever y'all think where you think it lands, whatever, right? But it's not a terrible album. Like as I was listening to it, I literally was thinking because I already knew it didn't have the best reviews, right? I was listening to it and I'm like, man, if this was someone else, and I ain't gonna name no names, but I was thinking of artists that are either currently hot or not too far from have been hot. And I'm thinking if this or that song was this or that artist, and if it was the same song, but they just kind of maybe did kind of their little thing on it, but the same song, same lyrics, everything, I'm like, I think it'd be received a little different. So I will say that, Will. I will give you that, right? There is a tone about the album where I was looking at different songs and I'm like, dang, if this was this, that, or that artist, I think maybe it might be received differently, but it's Will, and I don't know, maybe they're not supposed to talk good about anything Will does. I don't know how I mean, he did do something very egregious and all these kinds of things. So I don't know if, or if the consensus is that it's just bad. I mean, I seen Charlemagne and what's my man's name? Andrew Schultz. They were listening to the I am the something, I am the something, I am the cancer, I am the cancer, I'm a Libra, but I am the cancer, or something like that. And they started laughing. And it's funny that they're laughing. They're laughing because they kind of feel that that's whack. And okay, I'm not going to defend it with every ounce of MC human being that I have, but I'm saying it's not terrible. I don't know, it wasn't terrible though. Now, am I gonna say, man, you have to listen to it before you leave Earth? I don't know if I'm gonna say all that, and that's no diss to nobody. I just don't know if I'm gonna say all that. But you know, it wasn't terrible, right? I didn't think it was terrible, Will. So, you know, for whatever that's worth, you'll probably never watch this, but if you watch this, anybody close to you watches, I didn't think it was terrible, Will. I didn't think it was horrible. You know what I'm saying? I didn't think it was terrible. Um, you know, so I just wanted to give you that. I think it was terrible. I just didn't think it was terrible. That's all I got. So, we'll roll with that. Um, but I felt like I was going to do something else with that. So again, I'll plug again though, because I know I did plug. I'll plug one more time. July 26th, 2025. Buckle your seatbelts, Las Vegas, Nevada. The Space, that's literally the name of the venue. Um, 8 p.m. And Ant Wild, realizing it's saying Anthony Wilder now, and I'm pissed. I want to change it because I wanted to be considered Anthony Wilder. That's my government. My name Ant Wild. So I'm trying to change it actually as I'm on it, but I don't know if I'm gonna be able to do it without messing something up. So I might leave it alone and let y'all have this one. I might let you have Anthony Wilder on this, but I want to change it. I can't even lie, but I don't want to mess that up because I could mess something up. Hot, so I probably need to stop messing with it before I messed something up. So anyway, uh, Ant Wild is the musical director of it. The song that's the lead song from the play, Coffee, Tea, and Me. You can go to YouTube, Lisa Renee, Coffee, Tea, and Me. That's Lisa Renee. Super dope concept. It was her concept. It was all the things, you know what I'm saying? And I took her concept. Look, she had a bomb, and I said, let me help you detonate that thing. So I took the idea, put the craftsmanship on it, put the Ant Wild slobber on it, and there you got Coffee, Tea, and Me. Hey, don't get me started, because since I'm not gonna get the show I probably want to get as a result of the fact that I'm doing this again. You know what I'm saying? Since I'm not gonna get the show I want, now I'm just gonna do this the way I want to. I might get to some sports, and I just might sit here talk some mess and see what game comes out of it, and we can share and move upon that and do it just like that. Let me take a quick gander. All right, yeah, Lake Showdown 2, 84-82. 9 minutes left to go in the game. So, this is the lead song, you know what I'm saying? Lisa Renee, you know, featuring Ant Wild and produced by Ant Wild. You feel what I'm saying? What?
When I fly into the sea, somebody finding their seats. What do they say? Hey. When I fly into the sea, somebody finding their seats. What do they say? Hey. Would you like coffee, tea, or me? 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 Get up and do the dance with me.
Early morning, late nights. Flight attendants can't get no rest in flight.
No, it's here without receipts. You still gonna know you still see safety. You're not the first class. Take that back to the IS with me. Turbulence real slow. I'll tell you, baby, your kids are cute, but hey man, that's slap. Listen, the beat slap. And Lisa kills that, dog. Hey, listen, she kill. Hey, your kids are cute, but take that order with the root. Thanks, mom. Hey, she be going. She be going on that, man. So listen, go get you some. Go get you some. That is the slap. She go on that, and so that's that's she had the idea for the song. She started doing the melody of the song. I took note of the melody of the song. And, you know, bada boom, bada bing. In the words of Baby Cakes, bada boom, bada bing. I took it to the laboratory, you know, and once it was done, I already knew. And once she hit me immediately. She hit me immediately. She was like, "Oh my God!" Like she couldn't even really tell. She was like, "That beat." And then once, hey, I already knew that, right? And then once that happened, I knew she was gonna murder that. Hey, so, early morning, late nights. So I want to play it all right now. I do. I want to just vibe and slap to it. And I'm gonna have to do a couple shows like that where if I talk and a song come up, I vibe and slap to it. But I don't want to, hey, go to the YouTube and go look at it. Coffee, Tea, or Me, Lisa Renee featuring that. Wow, go get you some. I want to play the whole thing, but we don't even play it on our show, and I don't want to play the whole thing. But I do want to play the whole thing because I do finally feel like slapping and mobbing to it. You know what I'm saying? But I'm not going to do it yet. I'll talk to her. If she gives me the clearance next time it comes up, I'll slap the whole thing. You know what I'm saying? Pause, I think, maybe. Is it still pause if I'm talking about a female, though? What if I'm into females? Because I very much am. For somebody like myself, if I'm into females and I say something and I'm talking about a female, but it could have a connotation of a pause, do I still have to say pause? You know what I'm saying? Like, somebody answer me that. You know what I'm saying? Leave a comment or something. And Lisa Renee said something too. Start going live on these too. But leave a comment or something in the meantime. Like and subscribe. The Real Ant Wild. Like and subscribe. Official Lisa Renee. Like and subscribe. Like and subscribe. Like and subscribe. Like and subscribe. Boom, boom. Like and subscribe. Like and subscribe, like and subscribe, like and subscribe, boom, boom, like and subscribe, like and subscribe, like and like and subscribe, boom, boom. Hey man, I'm about to make that a spot. And everybody who really knows me knows that. Ask Lisa if I can make, if I'm gonna make that, that's gonna be a spot. Like and subscribe, like and subscribe. Hey, I'm copywriting it right now. Don't try to take my melodies, y'all. Don't try to take my melodies. Check my melody. Darren Wilsey, my guy. Check my melody. Go to Spotify. Wild Wilsey. Check my melody. Hey, man, shoot. Don't let me, hey, if I can find Spotify, did we put it on? Let me see. Did we put it on? Is it on the tube? 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 I'm about to see right now, y'all. But hey, check my melody, but don't take my melody. You know what I'm saying? Don't take my melody. You can check it, but don't take my melody. Hey man, if I can find this, I'm gonna tell you, this is, if anything, this is gonna be a celebration of diversity and some of the music. So look, you got Monster at the beginning. I'll refresh your memory. You know what I'm saying? Matter of fact, I'm gonna refresh your memory. We're gonna go from the beginning and then I'm gonna get to this to check my melody. Produced by my man Darren Wilsey, one of the best musician that I've ever been around. He is like Elok. I put Elok up on the one of my favorite producers. Everybody included, all the greats, the Quincy Joneses, the everybody that you can name included. Um, I put um I put Darren Wilson musician wise up with anybody. You may not know who he is compared to others, but I mean, you talk about piano, I'm talking about guitar. You know what I'm saying? Hey, Darren Wilsey is a real one. That's my man. So shout out to Darren Wilsey. So I'm gonna go to that just on some playful stuff. You know what I'm saying? And then we'll get to where we get. I might get to some sports. Let me pick up the score. Okay, Lake Show hanging in there. I want the Lake Show to hang in there. I want to see this series go. So I want the Lake Show to hang in there so we can get more of it, because that's going to get to my point too, and how the NBA is actually showing out right now. The NBA is showing out right now. So that's the original segment. That's the reason I wanted to go on. But now we're going to be doing this music. Then I'm going to get over there. But then there's a whole lot of other layers I want to get to, and we'll see. Hopefully, otherwise I'll have to split it up and give it to y'all again. You know what I'm saying? I can't cry over spilled milk. I missed it, but we vibing now, so it is what it is. So I'm gonna go Monster, then I'm gonna go Coffee Tea and Me, then I'm gonna go Wild Wilsey, my man Darren Wilsey. Just because this shows the gifts of everyone involved. It's 3 songs I happen to be a part of, but it's every bit of showcase of the other people. Monster, that's me rapping, killing the game. Again, I would play the whole thing. I should play the whole thing, but I ain't gonna play the whole thing. I'm just gonna play a little bit. It's copyrighted and all that, so don't. Hey man, I ain't out here playing with my paper and stuff, so don't get on here tripping. Because I do agree with Lisa Renee on this. You know what I'm saying? Hey, we gonna give you stuff, but don't get on here tripping. Recognize the artistry. I'm gonna recognize yours, recognize mine. So I'm gonna play that. 86-85, Lakers down one. Might have to get over there. But that could be a perfect segue into the NBA thing. But I just want to do this real quick. I do want to play the whole thing because it do slap, but I don't think I'm going to. But here we go. What? Sorry, that's what I was saying. So Elo, this is me killing this one, but Elo is the producer. Listen to this music, right? And Elo let me have this. That's what I was. I don't know if I told this story, but Elok let me have this. This is why I give so much props to my man Elok, Aaron DeCourcy, my man Elok. Aaron DeCourcy, government name. Sorry if you don't want me to say your government name, but everybody might not know. I'm gonna say your government name. Aaron DeCourcy, my man Elok. And when you see Elok, I'm gonna have Elok on here. That's what I said before too. I'm gonna have Elok on here. So either I'm gonna do a picture or I'm gonna have him on here for a few seconds. One or the other. I'm gonna get clearance from him. And when you guys see what Elok look like, and I'm talking about Elok, you're gonna be like, that's classic, because Elok is one of the best. That's my guy. So Elok, you know I've always said, anytime you want to seat at the chair, you know what I'm saying? You know I'm always down. Like, hey man, hey, listen. There's always room for you, buddy. Hey, Ed, I want to get back into the, you know what I'm saying? Let's craft up a project. There's always room for you, bud. You know what I'm saying? There's always room for you, dog. So, you know, I've been said that. I will continue to say that. I know, you know what I'm saying? Life be lifing, but I'm just saying, you always got a spot with me, player. So, first song, Monster, Elo. Um, Elo produced. You hear the music on that. Coffee Tea or Me. Lisa wrote her concept. You know, I produced. You know what I'm saying? You know, obviously put my thing on there, you know what I'm saying? So that's just a down the middle 50-50. Just we both just brought our greatness to the table and made a masterful song on her phenomenal idea, you know what I'm saying? And I'm just glad I was able to help detonate the bomb on that one. And then the third one, my man Darren Woolsey produced. We was over there. Fun story about this. I used to go, man, we need to do that some more, man. See that kind of stuff. That's why this is my guy. I used to go over there when he was. I think he still lives at the same spot in Irvine. But like years ago, I would go over there. Darren Wilsey, funny story. I took a business of music class at Santa Ana College, and Darren Wilsey, my man Darren Wilsey, was the teacher of that class, and we just clicked from there and been in touch ever since. That was 2014. I can call Darren Wilsey right now. I almost want to call Darren Wilsey right now. You know what I'm saying? I need to get Darren Wilsey on here too. I'm calling Darren Wilsey. I'm gonna see if he want to come on, man. We chalk some chop. Real talk. That's my guy. You know what I'm saying? And so Darren was the teacher of the class, and me and him clicked. And Darren has done a ton of stuff, a ton of stuff. Like Darren is a true silent assassin. You have no Darren presents it like I'm just here chilling, grateful, just being a great dude, all the things. Pause. If I feel like, but just being a phenomenal cat, just a good addition, contribution to the world of just great people, and you'll have no idea all the stuff Darren has done and touched, and all the things, and all the music you've heard on TV shows that you had no idea that he was responsible for giving to you. Darren Wilsey's that's that dude, man. So just giving shout outs because he's the one who produced that. We was doing a jam session. Back to the story, we was doing a jam session at Darren Wilsey's, and you know what I'm saying? And he started playing that beat, and literally what you hear now, I perfected it. I did my artistry stuff on it, right? And made sure it fit and was cool and all that kind of stuff. But I the bones of what you're hearing is literally what I rapped when we were doing the jam session. So we were just jamming, and I just started as soon as that beat started playing, and he was playing on the piano, and we was there like in a little living room, dining room area. We was just jamming out, and he was playing that piano, and I was just like, "Ever check my melody, check my melody, check my melody." I am gonna play the whole thing though, you know what I'm saying? I might, you know what I mean? But because check my melody is already on Spotify, it's been on Spotify. Go get it, go listen to it, all the stuff. But I just started check my melody, and then the verse came, and I kind of freestyled the verse, kind of how you hear it, but then I just took it and perfected it. Like I was writing it and boo boo boo, like I would spit it, and then I would just kind of maybe because there's so much going on, but like I used to remember I started really heavily started writing stuff down. Like I've written my lyrics for years. Don't let me front. Wayne, Jay-Z, Crooked Eye, hey man, I just named three of the best in the world. And, they don't write them down. They have them all memorized. And I can relate to that because there was a huge time that I was doing that. But maybe between maybe if I never juggled the corporate world, maybe I wouldn't have to write them down because that's all I would be doing. So I would remember, if that makes sense. But when you don't have raps or ideas for a certain period of time, and then you try and go back and revisit them, if you're not on top of them, you could forget them. You could forget what that was. There was a, oh my God, by the grace of God, quick story. There was a time where I was in my car, and there was this song that I had not ever written down. Perfect example. I never wrote this song down. And if I did, I don't know where it is, but I know I never wrote this song down. This is a song I've had at least 20 years in my head. 20 years in my head. I wrote the whole song in my head, right? I never wrote the lyrics, but I never needed to have the lyrics because I would always recite it. So I would never need the lyrics. I was always recited. And one day I went to go recite it. And hey, look, because I was on a little trip, you know what I'm saying? I'm trying to do the YouTube thing. So I don't know. I don't want to get too explicit of what was happening, but just let's say, you know what I'm saying, we was on the yeah, we was on the level, you know what I mean? Let's just say we was on the level, you know what I'm saying? And while on the level, sometimes it can get away from you if you start panicking, right? So I was like, oh no, like no, 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 no. So I just had to calm down and really say, all right, man, so I had to start doing it because the cadence of it, I'm going spazzing on it. I can't wait for y'all to hear that one. That one's not recorded yet. That's why I wanted to revisit it because I'm like, this is gonna be I already got like 3, 4 projects planned out. One is completely done to the teeth, bam, bam, bam. That's done. Um, if I'm able to get my mans and them to come on a project with me, that'll be another. But even if not, I still have the succession. I would just love to be able to throw that project in there too. So it's a part of the song that's in it, that I'm going to put this in here. This would fit perfectly. But I had to remember, so I had to go back. It took me like an hour to like remember. Like I had to force myself to remember it. And thank God I did, because it's a wonderful song. But I'm saying that to say, those artists that don't write them down, I understand. But so I've always did. Like when I was in 3 a.m., I wrote my stuff down, because a lot of times me and Shorty, shout out to Shorty, Shorty got beats. Um, Shorty the Sheriff, that was one that he went by. But me and Shorty were around each other a lot, so I would always we were writing like a lot of the verses me and Shorty wrote. We wrote around each other. You know what I'm saying? Like I will say that that's a lot of the verses me and Shorty wrote. We were around each other, and then we wrote, and then a lot of times we would take it to 86, or we would come up off of a concept 86 have, and me and Shorty would fill in, to follow 86's lead on that, like Northern Cali, from San Jose to Side, and all in between, Oakland, Richmond, Frisco, EPA. Man, don't let me get all. I'm gonna start bumping all this stuff. What? What? Stop! I'm about to, man. We about to play, man. It's coming. Why you think I had to get clearances for my song? I ain't playing. I ain't playing with y'all, and I mean that on love. I can't wait to give it to y'all, because I ain't no holding back now. But like, even with that, revisiting that type of stuff, that was 86 in me. Hey, he came with that hook. Hey, from San Jose to Sac, and all in between, Oakland, Richmond, Frisco, EPA, Vallejo. I mean, they nicknamed Yale Ice Cream, wearing Yale tri-beams, game runs and streams, and I've been soaking it up since my teens, from San Jose to Sac, and all in between, Oakland, Richmond, Frisco, EPA, Vallejo. I mean, they nicknamed Yale Ice Cream, where niggas weigh on tri-beams, game runs and streams, and I've been soaking it up since my teens. Game runs and streams, and I've been soaking it up since my teens. 86. My guy, one of my favorite lyricists on planet Earth. He's another one, right? 86. He's another one. He's another one of these guys that's like, he's every bit as good as anybody I've ever heard. You know what I'm saying? Me included. And I think I am very good. I'm sorry. I know it sounds a certain way. I'm just being real. I think I'm very good. And 86 is one of the best I've ever heard lyrically. He's another one. Lisa Renee. You hear me talk about buckle your seatbelt, right? Lisa Renee is one of the best singer entertainers in the world. But I'm gonna stay a singer for a minute, because she's such a dope entertainer. It gets overlooked how well she could sing. We talking about sang girls. She one of them sang girls, and those that sang know what I'm talking about, because sang girls is a very black thing. Don't get it twisted. Sang girls, that's a very black thing. But it is not only black girls who reside in the sang girl category. I'll tell you that right now. And Suzanne, Real, Christone, Buoncino. I'm naming all of her names. Two of them is maiden. One is the married name. I'm naming all of her names, so I want to make sure I include her, because she is one of them sang girls. That little girl is one of them sang girls. And you hear the name, and yeah, you're thinking, oh, she might be an Italian girl. Yes, she is. That girl you talk about, that's my dog right there. That girl, because she one of them sang girls. She's another one. As every bit of a good singer as I've heard. Right? Lisa Renee, one of the I mean, we talking about, come on, man. Come on, dog. Hey, listen. There's a song I have on the album where it's like, you have to be able to sing in a certain range in order to pull it off. You know what I'm saying? And after some push and pull, we were in the session for 2-3 hours. And then finally she goes in the note that I want, just so effortlessly. And I'm like, she was like, you mean you want it like that? Yes, I want it just like that. What do you mean? I've been saying that the whole time. I'm like, yes, I want it just like that. And she murders it. Murders it. You know what I'm saying? Suzanne. Hey, listen, I got a funny story about, ooh, that's my girl. Man, that's my girl. Both of these women, like you hear me glow about them, because they are In the space of artistry, man, I'm telling you, like I'm gonna get to it. Bear with you, boy. Let me do a peek. 4 minutes, 4 seconds left to go. I should pause it. I should pause it. Um, I might pause it. Hold on. Because I want to see the end of it, but I don't want to stop my flow to do it. So hold on a second. I'm gonna pause it. Hold on. Pause it. Flow, and I want to see the end of that. So anyway, uh, Suzanne, when they were living, we met Suzanne and Christopher um, because they were our neighbors. They had moved from the East Coast. I'm saying East Coast in the high. Yeah, man. Uh, uh, Suzanne lived in Staten Island. Shaolin, stand up. But she was originally from Brooklyn, and Christopher's from New Jersey. So they moved here, and in our spot in Long Beach, at the time when they moved here, we used to have the spot in Long Beach ranking. Like we'd be out there every day. That's what it was, the Wild Wild West days. You know what I'm saying? Like the whole block was different. The whole block used to be outside. You know what I'm saying? And we was cool with all the neighbors, and the neighbors would be outside. We was kicking it. And so needless to say, we was out here. This is how I got on like the horseshoes and the what's the god dang it, horseshoes, and what's the one they tossed the thing, I cornhole, I'm sorry to my WBs, cornhole. That's how I got on cornhole, all them games. Hey man, WBs, we having some cool games. So cornhole, that's how I got on that. So we was playing horseshoes. They was just coming from a gig, and so we were doing, the thing, whatever. We met them. They just moved here, immediately clicked immediately. And then later on that night, because there was a very talented, at one point, there was a very talented group of people who lived here. Sherwin and Irwin upstairs. Sherwin was a DJ. You know what I'm saying? My man Tone used to live next door to us. Tone played guitar, dope guitar player. You got me over here. I do the bebop, hip hop. You got Chris and Sue. Chris is a phenomenal producer. Sue is a phenomenal singer. And then when Johnny used to live here, he used to play. It was a very, we had the vibe going. So needless to say, I say that to say, there was always times where we'd be sitting in the vibe and chilling, you know what I'm saying? And singing and whatnot. And so they were singing, and Tone's girl at the time, Vanessa, who's also on the album, does a phenomenal job. Vanessa Sereno. Sereno. Um, she used to sing all the time. So we already knew how dope she was. You know what I'm saying? Not to say it like that, but we already know. So like my girl comes, and she was like, "Hey, babe, you gotta hear this. You gotta hear her sing." And I was like, "Oh yeah," because I was over here doing what I was doing, probably fixing me a drink or something. So he was like, "Hey, babe, you gotta hear her sing." And I was like, my response was, "Oh yeah, Nessa kills it." You know what I'm saying? Like, yeah, I already know. I'll be there in a second. Yeah, Nessa kills it. She was like, "No, I'm talking about the other one." I said, "The little white girl?" She was like, "Yes." I said, she was like, "No, but sang, babe." I said, "Word?" I said, "Say it ain't so." I couldn't get over there fast enough. I got over there as sure as heck. This girl was blowing the doors off just on that, like, touch your soul, like Aretha Franklin. She just, was killing the game. You know what I'm saying? And so she just, it touches you, pause, I think. But again, I'm talking about women. Should I be pausing if I'm talking about women, especially if they're beautiful women? I don't understand. And then Nessa got the operatic voice. So she's hitting them with the operatic tones and the ha-ha-ha's. And it's just crazy, right? So Suzanne, and I got on this for a reason. I'm gonna remember we were talking about music, and I know I went down the producers thing, but I was just talking about dope people. I was talking about 3 a.m. I was playing the songs. That's what I was doing. I was playing. Oh, I went to look at the thing, but I remember I paused it. Okay, cool. I was playing the songs is what I was doing. but I got on a rabbit hole talking about all the dope people. You know what I'm saying? So sorry. I was playing the song, what I was doing, but I am going to continue. I'm going to get back to the song, but that's how this whole rabbit hole started, right? So, Suzanne, Chris was out of town one time. I went to pick her up. Walk gave because when Chris was out of town, hey, it was the that's my girl. I'll step right in. Hey man, gonna be out of town. She would hit me. Hey, Chris is gonna be out of town. We'd watch the scary movies and all the kind of stuff. And then her and Neva would hang out. It was dope time, right? Like I said, that's my dog. And so we were walking, bull crapping. She's getting off of where she was working, and we're walking by the Roscoe's. And on Fridays, I think they still do it, but I don't know. This was years ago. You know what I'm saying? We talking what, 5, 6 years ago. They used to, and I think they still did it after pandemic, but I don't know if they're still doing it, right? So it was 5, 6 years ago, and they used to have this like blues type band that was in there, right? Right up Sue's alley, right? As far as where she likes to reside. They do the EDM stuff and she kills on that. You know what I'm saying? She just kills. You know what I mean? She kills on that. If it's, you know, there's one group that I love that I always put her in mind of, and she confirmed it's one of her favorites. And I was like, I always kind of saw you in that, and that's a Phanogram, right? So she fits in that vibe too. You know what I'm saying? But like when her and Chris do their thing, they got their vibe, and it's sick, right? So, but she likes to be in this place too, right? So she pauses, and she just kind of looks at me, and I was like, you want to go in there? She's like, do you mind? I said, come on, man, let's go. You know what I'm saying? Come on, man, let's go. So we go up in there, some type of way we just got in there. I don't think we had to pay or anything. So we're just listening to X, Y, and Z. And then afterwards, uh, when it's I said, yeah, she was like, yeah, that would be cool to just be able to, to sing in one of those just type of situations, just to add to the stack. Cause her and Chris was killing it all over Long Beach. They do their acapella sets, and I mean killing it. Like her and Chris was killing it. They performed everywhere. Like I can't tell you, man. That's shout out, man. Those are my peoples forever. But so her and Chris was killing it, right? And so, this was just a place I know she wanted to kind of did too. So I was just like, well, shit, well, let's see. I'll play manager for the night. You know what I mean? So I think I went to the drummer first. Cool. The drummer was dope. Oh, no, 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 no. I had seen her and the drummer talking. So then when I went up, the drummer was talking, and I got the impression the drummer was the person to be talking to, right? And so it was like, oh, and then it turns out he was having something going, and so he was recruiting for that, but that's not what was going on. He wasn't responsible for what was going on that night. And so I remember being like, okay, well, let me find out who was responsible for what was going on that night. In other words, I need to be talking to someone else. And then I had to catch myself because I was like, oh, dang, that's whack. I kind of look down on people that may do that to me if they've ever done it to me. But I do get it, though. You want to talk to the people. It was kind of one of them moments like, dang, I've gotten done like that before and I didn't like it. But at the same time, being on the other side of it, I get it. Like, well, no disrespect. I just don't need to be talking to you right now. Oh, that's what you're talking about? Okay, you can continue to talk about that. I'll go talk to whoever I need to be talking to in regards to this particular situation here. You feel what I'm trying to say? So it was kind of one of them situations. So I went, talked, asked the brother, because there was a sister girl who was singing that night who was doing her thug thing, killing it down. And so I went and asked the brother, he was the guitar player, and I said, hey man, do you have a permanent singer, or is it something where you just kind of you rotate, like, or is it a permanent? He was like, no. He was like, no, this one comes, she's dope, whatever. She's not able to come every weekend. So, for the weekend she's not able to come, then yeah, I would absolutely like somebody else. And I was like, well, I mean, I got somebody I think I would like, you to hear. And then he starts looking around, right? And he's like, oh, okay. And he's looking around, and like Suzanne, because Suzanne is short, gorgeous. She's just short. You know what I'm saying? She probably had some like blonde. She changes hair colors a lot. She watched this. Whenever you watch this, baby girl, you change hair colors a lot. She even asked about the birthday party that I'm gonna get to that we did on the Monumental. She asked me, she was like, "Well, it's your birthday party. What hair color should I wear? Blonde or brunette?" You know what I'm saying? Like, so my girl changes hair colors. So I'm thinking she was blonde at this time. Little short girl, petite girl. So he just kind of looks over her, and I was like, no, I'm talking about her. And he kind of looks at her, and he looks at me, and I was like, yeah, this little short girl right here, this little short white girl right here, this is who I'm talking about. She can sing, like she can blow it off. You know what I'm saying? He was like, okay, okay. He was interested. You know what I'm saying? Because I gotta hear this kind of thing, right? Okay, I hear what you're saying, my brother, and I see you big black brother, and all the things. You seem official. All right, well, you vouching for her, you know. Long story short, the next week she does go, right? They work it out, and she goes to sing a set, right? And so, she's a little nervous because, she's just a little nervous. And we're in Roscoe's, and it was full this night, and it was very chocolate this night also. I can relate to Jamie Foxx when he talks about Ed Sheeran, and he is like, it's the blackity, blackity, black. If y'all ever seen that, when Jamie Foxx is on, I think it's the Graham Norton show, and he's talking about Ed Sheeran, and Ed Sheeran slept on his couch for like 6 weeks, and he's like, I got to see if you got the goods. And he used to do this spot like on Monday nights, and it was like 800 like black people. He's like, there ain't even no light skinned people, it was black people. And Ed Sheeran pops out with a ukulele, and they looking like, who the heck is this? And then he ends up getting standing ovation. Well, it was in the ballpark of that. It wasn't, but it was kind of the same thing. It was like the guitar player, when it was Sue's time to come up, he was like, we got this special guest, what I'm saying, coming up. And when she got up to go up there, the black folks was like, okay, well, what is, they weren't really dissing, but they were curious for sure. You know what I'm saying? All y'all, hey, black folk, y'all know what I'm talking about. Everybody that's exposed to black folk know what I'm talking about. But black folk, y'all really know what I'm talking about. And everybody, that knows, you know what I'm talking about as well. I know I said that twice, but still, I felt like saying it twice. Arifa. But hey, there was curiosity in the room. I promise you that. You know what I'm saying? So there's curiosity in the room. So I'm watching the room, because I'm like, they don't know what I know. They don't know what our table knows, because that was our table that was over there. So, it's me, it's Chris, her husband, it's Twizzle, it's Neva Boo, it's Tone, it's Nessa, and I'm probably missing a couple. Okay, we in here. Let's see what's, we here. We know what's happening. We know what this is. We know what this girl can do. Let's see, so I'm watching. And they got to go on with, I think, a Tina Turner song is first, and she let out that first note, and you can look and you can see them, especially the black women. They were like, "Ooh, okay, okay," it was one of them like, "Okay, girl, let me, it's the arms folded, but it's the good arms folded." Like, okay, well, yeah, it's one of them kind of things. So anyway, felt like telling that fun story, but to emphasize the talent level of the people that I'm talking about. That was the whole point of the rant. I know it was at some point in time, even if it wasn't, it's the point now. Oh. That's what I'm talking about. Buckle your seatbelt, perfect example. Lisa Renee, this thing that she's put together, Coffee, Tea, and Me, I deserve a lot of credit. I'm going to take it, because she gives me credit all the time. Probably in ways when I be trying to downplay, and she'd be like, nah, dog, you killed that. Newsflash, the Coffee, Tea, and Me that you hear, because I am going to play the songs. I ain't forgot. I am going to play the songs. But the Coffee, Tea, and Me that you hear, that was just me doing a reference track. That wasn't even supposed to be me doing that at the majority. Lisa's in there, but they buried her X, Y, and Z. That was the decision of the engineer, and he's a phenomenal engineer, Grammy Award-winning engineer, HB out of Studio Blue Room, DC, The Truth. The song, you go listen to the song. It sounds phenomenal. He about that light. He about that action. And his track record proves it when you look him up. He's the truth. Shout out to HB, for real, for real. But he felt like I killed it so much. The decision was, and I just I had my input, but everybody, artists, especially engineers and things like that, you know how it is. You want to let people do what they do. So I didn't want to, it was Lisa's idea, it was Lisa's song. We have this agreement, even if we do 50-50 on something, from the creative standpoint, if you're the leading force on that, I'll follow you, because I know you know what to do. There's a song I got on my app. Lisa's on 2 songs and murders them. Oath. Suzanne is on a song. Suzanne is on she's responsible for bringing the album in and taking you out. Talking about talented people, bro. Like, I mean, sorry, I don't want to go on that route again, but hey, listen, when this train runs and all tides ride with this train, you're gonna see what I'm talking about, because everybody is gonna be able to stand on their own because the talent level is the truth. You heard? So buckle your seatbelts. It's the same kind of what she's put together. Like I said, Coffee, Tea, and Me, that wasn't even supposed to be me. That's what I was saying. That wasn't even supposed to be my part. I didn't even really mind being there. Personally, me engineering decision, I would have rather had Lisa sit a little higher because she's killing it on the sexy tip, and me kind of emphasize that. But she's like, but Ace, that's what she calls me. She's like, but you kill it, Ace. She's like, you killed it. You know what I'm saying? She's like, I didn't want you to be at that part. I wanted to be at that part. You know what I'm saying? She's like, I didn't want you to be at that part. I wanted to be at that part. She's like, but you killed it. You know what I'm saying? So I'm not taking away my credit because it is off the chain and I did have a lot to do with it. I'm going to give myself some flowers, X, Y, and Z. But another reason why I think I want to back off of whatever credit is because what you hear, that's Lisa's birth child. You know what I'm saying? I was fortunate enough to understand the assignment, and based on our connection over 20 something years of doing hard, really super dope stuff and really super dope music, all the dope music we've done, and with the connection and my ability to be able to carry out the vision, it worked out, phenomenally. You know what I'm saying? So that's what we're gonna so that's the second one. Monsters first, that's second. Check My Melody. Darren will see. My man Darren will see. Produce the third one. So yes. And I'm gonna play a whole bunch of other stuff too, like on other ones. But I'm just gonna fulfill this promise to make sure that even though I did go on a tangent, that I tied it back to what we were doing. You know what I'm saying? I know we went on one, but stay with your boy. I apologize. Doing my best. Here we go. Yep. Oh man. Mm-mm-mm.
Yeah, I'm a monster. Yeah, I'm a monster.
What's the deal? Devil, stay busy. That's all right. Means we're supposed to hear it again. You ain't gonna win, devil. You ain't gonna win. God first.
Yeah, I'm a monster. Yeah, I'm a monster. Come on, yeah, I'm a monster. It's a celebration, people. I'm a monster. Put your hands up. Yeah, I'm a monster. And it's the whole world I'm finna conquer. I'm a monster. I always stand tall, I never falter. I'm a monster. Come on, put your glasses in the air, wave around your middle fingers like you just don't. When they take a look at me, all they see is a menace to society. That's why I'm yelling the word. I ain't yeah.
Can't even get myself together. When they take a look at me, all they see is a menace to society. That's why I'm yelling at the world defiantly. These busters better not ever think of trying me. I try to be as calm as I can be, but the anger that's inside of me forces me to release the inner beast that resides in me, killing off the MIC, spitting out this fire heat. These devils are conspiring to get rid of all inspiring influences in the game that's in dire need of Ed Wild's realness. Spasm when I spill. Rhyme style that's sick. There's no doubt that you're gonna feel this. Should play the whole song. Let me think about it. I might do it next time. Slap off. Pause, I think. Shout out to Elo. Aaron DeCourcy. Listen to that song. Listen to that production. If I didn't even finish the story, Aaron, let me have that. Aaron was going to use that for himself. I was over there for whatever reason, jabbing on some music like we always do. He played that damn thing. I said, I didn't even say nothing at first, but I did have a look on my face. I probably had something like this going on. And he was like, "You like that, huh?" And I said, "Yes, I do. Yes." He's like, "Can you do something with that?" What question is that? When they take a look at me, all they see is a menace to society. That's why I'm yelling the world defiantly. These buses better ever think of trying me. I try to be as calm as I can be, but the anger that's inside of me forces me to release the inner beast that resides in me, killing off the MIC. When I spit this fire heat, these devils are conspiring to get rid of all inspiring influences in the game that's in dire need of Aunt Niall's realness. What do you mean, do I have something for that? Especially when I spilled. Rhyme style that's sick. There's no doubt that you're going to feel this. I'm spazzing with my skills when I'm busting flows tough. Oh, not from Buffalo, but I'm about to get them bills, bitch. I'm broke, but I'm still rich. What? Come on, man. But give him a pass. I'm just saying. The beat alive. Once he said that, do you have something for this? Oh my God. Shout out to Elo. So many more that he has that will be getting used. That's a knocker. Pause, I think. But you heard that. You heard how he did the whole rendition. He played all that. Doom, doom, doom. Yeah. I'm a monster. First thing that came up out my breath when I heard it. As soon as the beat dropped, I felt like I was being put together. Yeah. Putting it all together. Big Black Beast gorilla style. I'm gonna tell a quick funny. Speaking of gorilla style, jerk. Jay Smooth, my man Jay Smooth, Joshua Ramirez. We be bagging on each other, right? I don't know. Hey, I tell people all the time, man, you want to come around my people. But it's good bag. It ain't no punk bagging. It ain't no who got more money. It ain't none of that. We like full scale. Like hey. Listen, my thing is I'm black as so I get every black joke in the book. Like I'm the darkest night, Gorilla 8, all the things. Look at me. Darkest night, big black, Gorilla 8. I'm all that. Caesar, yeah, give us free. What's happening, Phil? All of that. Wakanda forever. I'm every bit of that. Look at me. I say it with such love. I love being it. Who else would you rather be than this? Love it. Thank God. Thank you, mom and dad, everything. But I'm the big black gorilla. You know what I'm saying? Got some chompers, got some big teeth. That's me. Josh said in a serious tone, he asked me, he said, "Hey, man, I got to ask you a question." I said, "What is it, my brother?" He said, "Hey, man, how much money did they pay you to run and jump all across the Golden Gate Bridge?" Now, if anybody ever seen Planet of the Apes, the first one of the remakes, the 2011 version, what are they doing? Running or jumping the car? That's it. That was hey. I told him about that recently too, with your mark ass. I told him about that recently too. That shit was funny. That's my man. I'm sorry. I'm trying not to cuss. I'm trying to do the YouTube thing. Please don't ban me. I'm just having fun. I'm just having fun. So anyway, Elo. There was a reason I went there. But I'm a monster. That's why I did that, because I'm a monster. Especially, you know what I mean, when it come to this. You know what I mean? And this is my contribution to the game. I ain't saying I'm the best. I ain't doing none of that. I'm saying what I can do, I do. Pause, I think. What I can do, I do. When you want to come listen to what I'm bringing and the people in my stable are bringing, we you know what I'm saying? What'd he say? Like, I want you to come with the thunder. Marlon, when he was talking about Damon, you better come with that thunder. Yeah, when he be imitating Damon, that's funny. Elo did that. As soon as the hood, monster. That's how that started, right? So what was the next one we was gonna play? Oh, we was gonna play this banger here. I ain't gonna play the whole thing. Just gonna give it some love.
Yeah. When I'm flying till I see somebody fine in their seats, what do they say?
Hey.
When I'm flying till I see somebody fine in their seats, what do they say? Hey, would you like coffee, tea, or beer? 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 Get up and do the dance with me.
Early morning, late nights. Flight attendants can't get no rest in flight.
Negotiate without receipts. You can do the you switch those seats. You are not a first class. Take that back to the aisle elsewhere, man. Rather than switch though, I tell you, they were doing on the wrong thing. Slur. Your kids are cute, but baby, hey man, she spazzed on that. She spaz on that, dog. She spaz on that one. Hey, that's like I said, that's a phenomenal song. I'm lucky to to have my place in it, but she spaz on that, man. That's shout out. Hey, shout out. That's what I'm saying, man. We talking about some of the best to ever do it right here, man. Talking about some of the best to ever do it. One of the best to ever do it. Y'all just don't know yet. Stay tuned, you'll find out. You just don't know just yet. Stay tuned, you find out. You know, but again, like I said, that coffee tea and me, that wasn't the design for me to be the main, you know what I mean? But hey, like Lisa said, you killed it though. I said that was supposed to be that was a reference track. That was just for you to do. I was just, you know, get you to do because like songs I've had her on, I've done reference takes. But then once she owned it, shit, especially after she killed it, I get me up out of there. Hey, the song on the album, I did the reference track. She came in because it's a pretty involved. Her part is pretty involved, and again, exceeded my expectations. Suzanne's on the song, exceeded my expectations. You know what I'm saying? I got Neva Boo's doing some stuff, exceeded my expectations. Suzanne, like I said, brings you in the album, takes you out the album, exceeded my expectations. Vanessa exceeded my expectations. So man, shout outs, man, shout outs, and stay tuned, y'all. It's coming, it's coming. But I just did a reference. Like I said, on the song I did a reference too. I could have kept us both in. Nah, man, I got me up out of there, Mike. Hey, she come in to do that. I'm doing you no justice. So that was my thought on this too. Like, hey, man, shoot, once you lay yours strong, because I know Lisa gonna lay her strong. And the reason why is even though I'm killing it on that, which it is what it is, I am killing it. I mean, it does sound really good. I can't deny that. That she knows she gets me on that every time I say something. Because what can I say? It don't sound good. It sounds phenomenal, right? I do get that. But I know she laid some good work in there. So it would have been really interesting to hear that. Because I know she killed it. Whatever she did, like more of the sexy kind of thing. I know Lisa Renee. I know she kills that. You know what I'm saying? So it would have been good to hear that more present too, because I know she kills it. Although it sounds great now, I do fully understand, but I also know she kills that. I also know she kills that. So again, buckle your seatbelts. July 26th, 2025, 8 p.m. The Space, Las Vegas, Nevada. I'll try and here's what I'm gonna do in the description. I'll leave a link to that. I'll leave a few links. I'll leave a link to that. You know what I'm saying? I'll leave a link to the the Another Mother Patio. Go get you caught up on those as we keep delivering heat for y'all on those. And one, two, and then Monster. I'm gonna have I'm going back and forth with Monster. I think I'm gonna put it back up. So my album was up. It's not up. I think I'm gonna put Monster back up though, and just start, letting y'all get a taste of that. You know what I'm saying? As we start unrolling that as well. Because as soon as Buckle Your Seatbelts is over, then we on to the next campaign, and that's the album release for your boy. So it's all coming, right? It's all in the works. I'm writing stuff now. I'm collaborating as we speak. It's going down. It's a fun time. Just got to stay in the game, which is why I'm doing this again after missing a 2-hour episode that was super duper fire. And so that's why I'm doing this again. This is after me having to calm down and oh my God, then I thought I was ready. Then I kind of exited the groove and now I'm here with y'all. You know what I'm saying? So thank y'all for being here. I promise you, I'm going to get to, I got the Lakers game paused. I want to get to some sports talk because I do kind of want to get into what I was talking about. I went on such a bar talking about the NBA and all that kind of stuff. I went on a good bar. So I'm going to try and recreate it. We'll see what happens. I did do music on my first one. It didn't last this long, but since I'm having a good time doing it, I'm just staying in the flow so that I ain't got to worry about the episode that I already lost. And do this version and let God be God and do what I got to do and all the kinds of things. So, Coffee, Tea, and Me, Buckle Your Seatbelts, Another Mother Patio, Buckle Your Seatbelts, July 26, 2025, 8 p.m. Doors open at 7:15, if I'm not mistaken. If I'm wrong, I'll correct it. The Space, Las Vegas, Nevada. Get your tickets, get your coffee, get your tea, get your live, get whatever you need to get where you got to get. You dig? And all right. So then the third song, we're going to play this. My man Darren Wilsey. Did I talk about Darren Wilsey and the phenomenal musicianship? I believe I did. Darren Wilsey, shout out. Oh, yeah, because I didn't do this in the first one, so I know I had to talk to you on this one because I didn't do this in the first one. So, you know what? Nah, let's give him the remix, as other words known as the G-Mix. Oh, I got to log in. Oh. Let me see if I can log in, y'all. Hopefully I can. If not, then we're going to move on. Let me see if I can log in, y'all. If not, going to move on. Let me see if I can log in, y'all. If not, going to move on. All right. Let me see if I can log in, y'all. If not, going to move on. We see if I can log in, y'all. If not, gonna move on. All right. Let me see if I can log in, y'all. If not, we're gonna move on. All right. Let me see if I can log in, y'all. If not, gonna move on. All right. Let me see if I can log in, y'all. If not, we're gonna move on. All right. Let me see if I can log in, y'all. If not, gonna move on. Let me clean it up and log in, y'all. If not, gonna move on. Boom, 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 fucking boom, didn't call it. Not boom, gonna move on. All right, let's see. Hey, let me see if I can log in, y'all. If not, gonna move on. All right, let's see something here. Let's see. All right, let's see if we got action. All right.
Hey.
Check my melody. Hey. There's
check my melody.
Hey.
Check my melody. Check my melody.
Hey.
The first time I saw you, you knew that I was on to you.
Yeah.
Staring, making it apparent that I wanted you.
Hey.
Yo, when we began to talk, it was obvious that I wanted you.
Hey.
That's why I wrote this poem so I can show you how I long for you. Here's my song to you. It's like escalators, elevators, planes, helicopters, airplanes. Your beauty is so high, it's like you're not even on a fair plane. I'm mesmerized, please forgive me if I stare, man. You make me wanna give up every last piece of my spare change. It's like I wanna run my fingers through your hair bands, clutch it to your screen, making sure I bring you pleasure and pain. Reveal my scriptures, get you lifted like that Mary Jane, to share the deepest thoughts within my soul, and that's all everything. Prepare sayings that are monumental. The brainwave signals I'ma send you should show you I'm rocking with you. Take my hand, let's do this thing, girl. I'm trying to get you on my team, cause my dream is to be at the altar with you. My thoughts are official, that's why I'm expressing these feelings, cause I'm dancing on the ceiling when you're next to me. You effortlessly always bring me to ecstasy, and I'ma make sure we keep it going until the death of me. Check my melody, check my melody. Baby girl, you're so heavenly. Now follow me, take my hand and follow me. Let's take a chance and see what tomorrow brings. Check my melody, check my melody. Your body is so heavenly. Now follow me, take my hand and follow me. Let's take a chance and see what tomorrow brings.
You know, that's a really good feel-good song, man. That's a really good feel-good song, man. I might that's a really good feel-good song. Shout out to Darren Wilsey, my brother. That's a really good feel-good song, man. Go to Spotify, man. Wild Wilsey. I'm and Wild, he's Darren Wilsey. Name of the group, Wild Wilsey. That's my man. We're gonna do a whole project. I know me and him talk about it. I know then I'll be hard to reach and he'll be hard to reach. But man, that's my guy. All those fails, we need to start jamming again, Mr. Wilsey. That's my man right there. Pause. So Spotify, Wild Wilsey. That's my hey, yeah, that's a good one right there. Check my melody. Check my melody. Hey, yeah. Hey, that's Darren Wilsey. Hey, I do provide the vocal funk. See, that's what I'm saying. Hey, I like do me and both. I could be the producer, I could be the artist. You know what I'm saying? I could do both. Like this one, I'm purely the artist. You know what I'm saying? The Lisa Renee one, I was more so the producer. I mean, I'm on there on some artist stuff with the vocals and all that, but that was supposed to be a reference. But you know, hey, it was dope, made the cut, so that's what it is. So, it's just hey, that's what I'm saying. The versatility, and a lot of times, you know, when your intentions are pure and you really want to make a good contribution into the world of just music, art, whatever it is, and your intentions are pure, you can toot your horn a little bit and still be humble about it. And that's what the people around me that really root for me and that people that really root for you, that's the stuff they're going to tell you. Like the ones that root for you, that's the stuff you're going to hear. Like, dude, you are amazing. You need to give yourself a little more love. And not everybody's quick to jump on that. You know what I'm saying? Like, not everybody understands the journey. It's a very faith-based journey. Me and Lisa Renee were just having this conversation, even because I had talked to her, you know what I'm saying, in regards to the situation of me losing the episode. And I'm sorry to say, Lisa Renee, because she said this one you're going to be a lot more focused, and I'm like, the last one was more focused. If you hear me going off on tangents, it's because I'm just allowing myself to be. And I'm not trying to follow the last one because the last one is lost. And so I'm just allowing myself to be. And in this, we found a great groove here. This is wonderful, guys. I hope you're enjoying it the way I am. Thank you for being here. But like on some real love, like, like it is important, as far as some game here. Let me turn more. I'm black, so you probably can't see me if I'm too far away from the light. It was daytime when I was recording this, so there's more natural light now because it's 2 hours, 3 hours later, 4 hours later. Oh my God. But it is important to maintain a certain amount of childlike enthusiasm and bliss. And when I say bliss, ignorance is bliss, right? That saying is very true. Because when you don't know certain things about something, you really are able to move in a way that's unbothered by the information that you may have learned that is now effing with you because now you know this information. So now it's on your mind. It was bliss when it wasn't. You know what I'm saying? There was a lot of bliss when you weren't aware of it. You know what I'm saying? And so ignorance is bliss in the standpoint of it's important, and I'm still a few people here. You know, I can name names, but a lot of the times I don't remember exactly names or where it was. But like Billie Jean has said parts of what I'm saying. Tony Robbins has said parts of what I'm saying. Uh, Dean Graziosi has said parts of what I'm saying. Denzel Washington has said parts of what I'm saying. Just overall, like, and obviously me, my mom and dad are saying the most parts. I'm just naming the people that I named because those are the people that we all know that um can help explain certain things you're trying to convey because they can point to them people and say, okay, I know what you're talking about. Not everybody knows about my mom and dad, so they may not get it all the time. But if I name certain people, you'll be like, oh, okay, I kind of understand their path. Oh, so if you can reference this back to your mom and dad, this is kind of the stuff that they used to give you. Facts. So there you go. But the ignorance is bliss, and not everybody, even the people closest to you, they might not fully understand what that grind is and the resilience. A lot of the grind is just the resilience mentally, physically, and emotionally to stay in the game. Whatever game that's truest to you, and everybody deals with that differently. A lot of people are just able to be like, hey, look, I can focus on this. It makes me money, and I'm not really tripping. My talent is making money, or, you know, whatever that is. Or maybe you did have something artistic or a vision you had, even if it's just in a business, even want to own your own trucking business, or you really see the few you can really feel like you can apply your skill set to own your own technology consulting firm or something like that, right? Whatever that is, you know what I'm saying? I always go to artistic because this is my vice. This is what keeps me up at night. This is the thing I'm always worried about and talked about, and what I'm always writing something, I'm always doing something, I'm always something. That's why I'm on here right now. So even though the first episode was lost and it was a lot more focused, the fact that I'm just shooting the S right now is what it is, because this is what I'm doing, and this is just what's going to be happening. So, and I try and give some blessings, some game. Hopefully it's a good riveting time and it's compelling and people are watching, and that's what I hope for. The first one was a lot more focused, so I'm sorry if I keep going back to that one, but it was. But this is awesome. I'm having a great time. But anyway, it takes a certain resilience to keep your eyes on the prize. Stay on the path. In the words of Golden Child, stay on the path. It's important to recognize what you cannot compromise. And if you early in life and are able to do it, it's a real gift. Kobe Bryant said something very, Kobe Bryant used to draw bars, actually. God rest you, Kobe. We can really use you right now, brother. I mean that in every way possible. God bless you, dog. But he said him and Ahmad Rashad were talking, and he was talking about the incident when he was around 21, and him and Michael Jordan pretty much had a, well, you can't beat me 1-on-1, I can beat you 1-on-1, and X, Y, and Z. And Ahmad Rashad said, yeah, you were very focused on that. Like, you already knew. He was like, well, he said, some type of way Kobe had said, yeah, what people want in life is to know what they want to do and what they feel their purpose is. And if you're lucky enough, you learn that at a young age. And man, did that stick. Because looking back on it, everything that I'm doing now, I wasn't going to not be able to do it. Wasn't going to not be able to do it. Like, it was always a part of my psyche. There's there are heights professionally in the corporate world that I have not reached because I've always been holding out for this space, because I didn't want to be too far away from this space. You know what I'm saying? And if I wanted to do something in a corporate way that was going to take me there, I wanted to do it in a way that occupied this space. But when you don't, if you haven't spent a whole lot of time getting paid in this space, it's a little harder to Doesn't mean it's impossible by any means, but it does make it a little more challenging to then parlay that into something that pays you well. If you, although you've been doing it, if you don't have anything on your resume from a reputable company that says you've been doing it, it does make it hard to then transition into a place where you can immediately make the kind of money you'll make in the corporate world. Doesn't mean it doesn't happen. You might find that job at Atlantic that particular skill set coincides perfectly for what you've been doing at your regular 9 to 5 job. And so you might be able to go to Atlantic and do that particular job title. And even though that's not the highest thing that you want to do in Atlantic, it gets you in the door of Atlantic. So then in getting hired internally, even your everyday function, even if you're just working on the technology system, because it's at a music company and a lot of the technology is going to be around music, then you're going to automatically be in that network, those cosmos, that frequency, right? And so, and I think I've said this on the podcast, but this is something I always say. If there is any game, because I do feel like I've been rambling. I hope you've been able to get, but if there's any focused game that we're going to get from this, it is, um, they always say, don't put all your eggs in one basket. That is absolutely true, but it's only true after you've already put all your eggs in one basket, right? Fuzzy targets do not get hit. I think I'm still in Dean Graziosi on that one. First time I heard that, I said, bet. Fuzzy targets do not get hit. You have to go into that place, right? When I graduated from Sac State, again, hindsight's 2020, Monday morning quarterback. But when I graduated from Sac State, it's one of those things you kind of think about it then, but you just think you have all the time. And so then you just kind of let vibrations go to the side. Like when I graduated from Sac State, I should have went to Paradise. I should have asked for I should have worked my way into an internship, and then I should have let the world take me from there. You know, even if that ended up at a regular job, I let the world take me from there. One of my favorite engineers in the world was there, and as a result of him being there and him just continuously putting tools in his toolbox, continuously building his skills, he's in a completely different situation that's even more rewarding to him based on that. But you got to be in that path in order to catch those waves, in order to see those opportunities, in order to be a part of those opportunities, in order to even learn ways that you want to even further expand in this field. One of my childhood friends, you know what I'm saying? I want to say his name, but I don't know if I want to put him on blast. It's total positive. You know what I'm saying? But he knows who he is. We'll just say mom, but he knows who he is. You know what I'm saying? One of my childhood friends did the same thing. He went to UCSB. He graduated. He was living in LA at the time he graduated. He was already in the music game. We came down here after my freshman year at Tuskegee, his freshman year at UCSB. Me, him, Mark, my man, our Megadon, and Shay Do, we came down to UCSB because he was working at the radio station in UCSB. I still got a freestyle session from that day. Don't let me get to digging down. I'll tell you about 30. Hey, man, we've been doing this. This is my point. Todd Mumford, another one. Well, that's his name. Mum's the word. I'm going to say his name. That's who he is. Mum's the word. Todd Mumford. But that's what I'm talking about. But Mum's the word. How I learned about Living Legends, LMNO, MERS, that whole crew. That's through Todd. Todd used to tour with them. You know what I'm saying? And so that's it. He was a producer. He was a road manager. That was his thing. And then he went and got his law degree. And then he parlayed that onto the highest of the heights. He lives in New York now, doing it lovely. Absolutely crafted a wonderful. I always send him these kind of messages, but I really wanted him to understand me. Like I say, monumental birthday. I ain't gonna age nobody, but we all in this phrase, and I'm just on some 14-year-old when we were, freshman football. Actually, we did JV football, then we went to hoop, our freshman year, 14 years old, shoot, from that time, hey man, we've been rocking since. You know what I'm saying? Hey, look, there's a story. I'm gonna tell you, he ain't gonna like me telling the story, but every time I see him, if it ever comes up, so we was doing like little drills. We was doing little drills, and this cat, it was like you had to catch it at the elbow, and the person who caught the elbow, the shot was there, you take the shot. So my man Todd's a lefty, mum's the word, fart Todd as I call him. Uh, he's a lefty, so it was like the whistle blew, but he was already in motion. And he went to shoot the ball, and I mean it went all over the backboard. It didn't come nowhere near the basket. You know what I'm saying? And like that's one of our fondest memories. That's one of our first memories. I think he was wearing glasses during practice. He used to wear like the glasses, so you can see like the cat with the glasses. Oh man, it's classic. But on some of that, like on some of our grown man and the you know how life has went, and you got to throw the flowers at those that deserve them. You know what I'm saying? So I gave him his flowers, being very proud. And he ain't the only one, man. I mean, like, hey, I'm proud of I'm proud of everybody. You know what I'm saying? Like, I'm proud of everybody. So I just brought that up on the music tip because he went and did that. And now, he let that. There's all kind of branches he explored in that field, but he wouldn't have been doing that if he was going to work at AT&T. No diss on AT&T, but you're not going to do that. When I worked at my company all the years, VZW, I worked all those years. I wasn't, I was doing the stuff, but you get caught up paying bills, right? And so slowly but surely, because there was a while I resisted it, even after I started working at VZW, I there was a while that I resisted it, right? Like I didn't want to buy a car because I didn't want to be no car payment because I was still living the other way. You know what I'm saying? Where I was doing the other things. You know what I mean? And but when you do that and you're in a certain income place, when you do the other things, oh hold on guys, I got to get something real quick. Hold on.
Check my melody.
Oh, oh, I hit it. Oh, I didn't mean to do that. Okay,
Check
y'all
my
got it
melody.
That's all right. That's good. Y'all got some more. I didn't even realize I did that. So you got some more. That was on accident. But anyway, my point to that was he put all his eggs in one basket. There's all kind of opportunities that go with that, regardless of what the field. I can go examples and examples. You know what I'm saying? Of cats that just cats from the neighborhood that have done that, right? And so I was back to the faith-based journey. See, the first one I was way more sick with it on my sticking to the points. But you just have to reserve a certain ignorance is bliss about, and trust in it. Like I give Kevin Hart props because, and regardless of what you think, whether you think he's the funniest man alive or not, I'm really just talking about the hustle, right? Like just the hustle. And he just fits the mold, but like because he's not the only one. Let's not get it twisted. But he's uber successful, and you just don't reach that level if you don't, and especially at a young age, right? Because it's okay to. I didn't realize how okay it was to mess up at a young age. I wish I would have realized that earlier, right? I mean, it is what it is. It's all learning. There's a lot of good things that happened as well. So I don't want to, you don't want to live like that either, right? But um, you know, you can get out and mess up, and in those mess ups, man, you find a lot of game if you're paying attention. So all you do is just tighten up the game so that you mess up less. And if you stay committed to the path will be committed to you, right? So it's kind of one of them things. So anyway, um, those were the three. Giving shouts out. That's how I went on the rant. I paused the game. I was talking about some NBA stuff. I'm gonna get into it. I'm not gonna be able to reduplicate what I did because I went down a very good road of explaining the whole thing. But I'm gonna just do what I can and do the best. But what I was saying is the NBA right now is cracking, right? And I say that with applause. I also say this with love and endearment. And as a person who has over the years stood by, because I'm an avid sports fan. NBA, basketball, it's always going to have a certain place. All sports do, but it's always going to have a certain place because my dad coached all sports, and every sport he coached, his teams were good. Football, basketball, baseball. You know what I'm saying? If he was into ice hockey, he would go coach ice hockey and it'd be good too. If he were into pickleball and he went to go coach pickleball, he'd be good too. Certain people are just really good teachers. They're really good communicators. They know how to get the information across to you in a way that is comprehensible and human. Lessons are taught in those situations. That's why my tie to sports is the way it is. That's why I'm always going to be talking about it in some way, shape, or form, because there's all kinds of life that happens in the midst of some very high, intense competition. You find out a lot about yourself. You find out a lot about yourself. If there's anything that I wish I could have done differently was understand how much, as far as getting to know myself, that I really wanted to dedicate to that path. Because you know yourself. When body is tired and you have to rely on mind to bail you out, when you're not able to breathe, but you still have to think, because at a certain level, talent is only going to get you to the court. To thrive in the court, and I'm talking about the court of supreme uh, competition in whatever the sport is, right? But when you're at the highest of court, that mental that's happening, bro, that mental that's happening in your mind, man, sports psychologists are real. I can see that being a very real thing. I think I would have done very well in that field from a mentality standpoint because I always like to play like that. That wasn't a place where I was. I it's kind of fight or flight, and I always chose fight from the standpoint of, which is why my style of play was more physical, pause if you will, because a lot of times if I'm going to be if I'm in a lot of times I was in position to play against really good players who were a lot bigger than I was. So you have to be able to understand where your strengths are in that, because I'm not a small dude, and I know you know, as far as strength, I know what I'm working with. So now there's a certain knowledge about how this thing can flow that could put you in your most opportune positions. And when the game is played at that level, man, the chess match that's going on, the chess match. It's a chess match. The chess match that's taking place. You know what I'm saying? Because now every play means something. And that's what the people want to see. And when I had criticisms of it earlier, so earlier in the year, my man Ricky Allen, shout out to Ricky Allen Glenn Jr., it's my guy, my dog, pause. I feel like, whatever. Uh we were talking and I said, I given him a call and I was like, this is the first time I've ever felt like this, because a lot of people over the years, ironically, the criticism is the very thing that they think is getting people to watch in a lot of ways, and that's the very thing that they don't want to watch. And a lot of times we have to talk about a lot of threes that are being shot, right? And if it's being shot, it's not that there's a lot more threes being shot. There's a lot more players that can hit it because that's part of the skill set now. The players today are more skilled. Let's just bury that. It doesn't mean the players of yesteryear weren't skilled. And it doesn't mean that the gap is as big as people think. That's another thing, too. If you go watch old games, there is a gap. I'm not saying there's not a gap in skill level, but it's not night and day. You know, it's there's a gap, but it's not night and day. I say that to say, because if Larry Bird had to shoot the way the players shoot today, you know, a lot of people say Larry Bird wouldn't be good today. I don't know. I don't know if I necessarily agree with that, because at the volume that threes are being shot today, you don't think he can shoot as well? Does he need a lot of space? I don't think he needs a lot of space. He's 6'10". You know what I'm saying? 6'10", 6'11". He's a big man. Pause. If he's coming off a screen, you get him the ball in his hands, he's shooting that thing. He doesn't need a lot of space. And from a foot speed standpoint, although they play different positions, I think the philosophy remains the same. And it's this. Joker is 7 feet tall. Joker, everybody knows how much I love Joker. Joker is the truth. I'm a fan. As a big man, you know, that truly believes that there's still huge spots in the game for big men. And actually these playoffs are kind of showing that, because the teams with the high Lakers problem is height. Now they're hanging in, but you gotta be really, it's like the old Bulls. The Bulls weren't very big, but God, were they fundamental. That's where Michael Jordan, the GOAT, with that and that mentality that he instilled in those teams, man, were they fundamental. They always led the league in rebounding. They were always top in the defensive list. If they made you miss, they cleaned up the glass. Man, you have no idea how much make them take tough shots and clean the glass up. That is the makings of a good defensive team. Make a miss and clean up the glass. Limit them to one possession every single time down the trip. If they get 60 trips down the floor, they get 60 trips. They get 60 attempts at the basket. At minimum 45 of those attempts. What is that, 75%? We want to try. I know it's kind of 40, 45. No, if you don't, that's 15 offensive rebounds. If you gave up 15 offensive, yeah, we're like 50, 55. We want to clean those up. And the Bulls were very fundamental in that, because a lot of times you'll watch a game and the ball will go up and nobody even box out. Everybody just stands to go get the rebound. Nah, man. Pause, but go put your ass on somebody. When that was said, when you didn't have to say pause. You know what I'm saying? Put your ass on somebody. Hey, man, ball up. Hey, man, you sitting right here. I know you're trying to get this rebound. Pop. Man, turn, face. Get on your white boy. Call it what you will. Big fundamentals, call it what you will. Turn face. You see all the fancy moves? The proper ones that are executed well are done out of triple threats. It may be a newer looking triple threat, but it's done out of a triple threat nonetheless. Steph is always in a triple threat. You just got to watch. Always. He can always dribble, pass, shoot anytime he gets the ball. In fact, that's why he puts himself on the move. So now when he gets the ball, he already has an advantage. I'm already moving. And if I'm not moving and I decide to stop because you don't know where exactly I'm going to go, and because I don't need that much space, I'm always a weapon. I can always shoot it. And because my range is extended out to 30 feet consistently, not once in a while, but because a 30-foot shot is not a terrible shot for me right? You always got the opportunity to put somebody in a blender, cook them up. You know what I mean? Larry Legend, in today's game, I feel there would have been more of a focus on him being a little faster. But Joker being able to operate in that space, why couldn't Larry Legend? And he's 6'10". So Matt, look at the space Steph is able to create, and he's 6'3". Larry Legend's 6'10", so he even needs less, and he can shoot quick, precise. Larry Legend in the three-point contest in Chicago, the same one Jordan won, that was a little home count took it against Dominique. You know, Dominique was my OG favorite player in all of the land. LeBron may have taken that over simply because of, you know, not to get in no debates. I'm just saying, personal preference, whatever. But Larry Legend, three-point contest in Chicago, as soon as he let the last one go, he put the one up. Bow. That's just cinema, baby. Even Jordan winning, it was cinema. It was great cinema. And then Jordan shows up for the cinema, right? At the end of the day, it's hard to deny that. That's why I don't get in the GOAT debates. It's hard to deny that. How can you deny that? Has he won 6 NBA championships? Yes. 6 times finals MVP? Yes. Took a break, won 3 in a row, took a break, all in his 30s, right? Took a break all in his 30s. Came back, fell to the Heat in 6, came back the next year. Wasn't that the next year he came back and won 70 games, 69 games? Started another three-peat? Man, I mean, that's hard to argue against. Excuse me. That's why I don't get into the GOAT debate. It's because it's hard to argue against from the standpoint of, I love Michael Jordan. I mean, LeBron. I do. Pause. LeBron in every way, shape, or form. And I think a lot of it is because I just don't understand why there's so much hate for him. What has the man done so wrong? Right? I think I'm kind of on that. Like, there's been the hate. I ask people all the time, man, why you hate LeBron? No, man, I don't like the decision. You don't like it because of the decision? What about all the other decisions that other people made that were terrible decisions that you never bring up? That really adversely hurt them and the family. LeBron made a decision to go from Cleveland to Miami because he didn't feel like he'd be able to beat the Celtics in Cleveland with that current squad constructed the way it was. He went to Miami. I would have liked him to stay in Cleveland, personally. Hometown kid. I would have loved him to stay in Cleveland his whole career, to be honest with you. If we talk a storybook, for sure. Do a Kobe. Do a Steph. Right? Steph might be the last one we see to do that. Maybe. Because I don't know. Everybody leaves. Right? That's one of the things I said in the one before. Everybody leaves. So that's kind of the story problem with the NBA at times, is if the games look like, here's what the thing is. There's not a lot of stuff. The NBA is cracking right now. You know why? Because in these playoffs, these cats don't like each other. Lakers and Timberwolves ain't liking each other. Warriors and Rockets ain't liking each other. Whole bunch of problems. Knicks and Pistons ain't liking each other. Whole bunch of problems. Whole bunch of wrestling. Whole bunch of talking. You know what I'm saying? Clippers and Nuggets ain't liking each other. Whole bunch of non-pleasantries being exchanged. Pacers and Bucks, that ended. And we'll get to that if we got time and if I feel like it. Hot. Pacers and Bucks, right? Don't like each other. Love it. Love it. Because now you know what it does? It makes all these possessions matter now. So now, hey, look, I'm one, you know me, I like, hey, man, let's get it cracking. Threes are part of the strategy. Let's go. What you mean? Anytime I can get 3, sure. Why would I be against that? I'm against it just being the only shot. There's a lot of times Cal to make a move, got a 12-foot shot, raise up and hit that. But you want to pass it out to a 3 that could be a little contested. Man, raise up and hit that shot, man. What are we talking about? Go hit that. Just go back down court. Next time, if they collapse, if I make this, I'm going to keep hitting that because now I'm going to force them to collapse. So now if I beat you and somebody come and help, well, look at that shot you get. See what I'm saying? Bow. In the flow of a game where every possession matters, now you hit that 3. Ooh, that's big. Because in the playoffs, what's happening, which is live, which is why it's so compelling, is an 8-point lead by another team is a stiff mountain to climb because every possession matters. So an 8-point lead, you got to walk that down. You're not going to get that back in 2 or 3 possessions. A lot of times in the part of the regular season, and this was early part, there was a big indifference, right? And it seemed like, 8-point lead, but it's nothing. Oh, you ain't going to really, and I'll hit a couple shots and then now it's back down. Nah, when it's serious and it's on the line, all these possessions matter, right? So the competition is really high. And that level of competition, regardless of what you say about talent level, I will say this, was extremely competitive in the earlier eras, right? It was more competitive in the earlier eras as far as that is concerned, consistently. But a lot of that is storylines because a lot of people didn't leave back to that point. Right. And I understand, hey, look, man, you got to go get your bag. I'm all for going to get the bag. I really am. Players have control in a way that probably no other professional organization has control of in a certain way. Right. And that's awesome. I'm all for it. Go get the bag. Go get the bag. I'm all for it. You know, but the competition, it even, because there is that level of ownership, as I would like to call it, it's even more imperative that we bring the competition in. Because the reality of it is, and this is a love note to the NBA. This is somebody talking with you. This is somebody who's trying to make sure that we stay on a certain level from a competitive standpoint, right? Because I think when basketball is being played at its highest level, especially with the skilled players that are today, there's the compelling TV is unmatched. It's unmatched. The compelling TV is unmatched. It's unmatched. That's where football be cracking. Because there's always that level. There's always that level. There's always that edge. You know what I'm saying? It's always that's where football gets to cracking. And when the NBA is cracking like that, I had said this, and that's what I was saying. So the storylines, right? With a lot of the movement, the storylines don't help. So not only do you have a lot of times where the perception is that the game is played in an indifferent way. It doesn't really matter if teams wins or lose. They don't hold a lot. It's kind of like chance basketball. Kobe Bryant used to say, see, I'm bringing up Kobe again. Kobe was the truth. As somebody who rooted against Kobe most of his career simply from a basketball standpoint, I'm not talking about in life. I'm talking about in basketball. I'm Sacktown representing 916 in the house. What's happening? I'm a, Kings fan, all the things. Everybody knows about the Lakers-Kings rivalry. So, I rooted against Kobe just on some hate. Being 100, just on some hate. But man, Kobe was the truth. And I used to always say this about Kobe too. As much as I may have rooted against him, there was not a play. I mean, him and LeBron, I watched them every time. I've seen Kobe the most in person out of any athlete. Ironically, I've never seen him at the Staples Center. Ain't that crazy? I've seen him everywhere else. I seen him in Oakland heck of times. Me and Ricky done went heck of times to see him. You know what I'm saying? When they was at the Oracle, I missed them days. You could go up there, get you a $50 ticket. You got a good seat in the Oracle back in them days. Like when the Warriors were just on the come up, but Mark Jackson was still there. We went and seen Kobe a couple times. I seen him in Sacramento, Arco Arena. I can't tell you how many times. Like I was at Game 5. You know what I'm saying? In the Western Conference Finals, the same finals with Robert Horry. thing shot. But we came back to win game 5. I was at that game when Mike Bibby hit the winning shot, the go-ahead shot. But even in them days, man, them teams didn't like each other. And you know what it was? You know why that era was so tight as far as that's concerned? Because all those Shaq being traded really kind of changed a little thing. Because in that time, all those teams that they were just coming back next year. Couple retools doesn't mean that there was never no movement, but there was the main pieces were there and it was coming back. You got me this year, I'm coming back. Spurs were in the mix. Spurs, Lakers, Kings, Mavericks, Blazers. You know what I'm saying? Sonics, Utah. In fact, the Kings on their way to, really ascending had to dethrone Utah. Utah was in their way in that 5-game series when Vlade had the chance to win it in game 5. It was 88-88, if I'm not mistaken. And Vlade had a chance to win it, and we ended up losing in overtime. So we had to get past the Jazz. That was one of the dragons we had to slay. There's not really a dragon that they have to slay today because there's so much movement. You know what I'm saying? Like there was a dragon you had to slay back in the days. You know what I'm saying? Like, especially once Magic and Larry entered the league, it was cracking because that came from, and we all know what that was about. And it was black. It can't get no more black and white than Mary Magic. It can't get more black and white than Magic and Larry to keep it with the black and white. And let's keep it a buck. And that made for compelling TV. And they were both the best in the world. You talk about elevating the NBA. Oh, man. And they didn't like each other on the floor when they was going. And even though they did kind of become cool, hey, Magic says it in the clip. Hey, man, I'll go. He said Michael Jordan, I think, was still playing. And Larry was like, man, wouldn't you want to get some of him? And he was like, he had said something. He was like, oh, he's going to be talking. And Magic said, oh, he's going to be talking. But Magic said, but, I'll go back at him. Just like I used to go back at both of y'all. Like he was talking to Larry too. Like, mind you, they retired and everything. And they buddies and everything. And it's on the, what did Michael Jordan say at the 75th? Talking to Magic. He said, hey, man, get your cleats on right now. They love each other. It's all love. But Jordan ready to get it cracking now. To still show, I'm still at this. That's the mentality. That's just the era of basketball we came up in. They wasn't liking each other. This was way, way pre-social media. Right? So you had all those storylines in that day, right? And you had Celtics and Lakers, but there was all kind of other rivals on the way. Remember, this is West and East. So there's all kind of other rivals in the way to get to each other, right? Celtics had to contend with the Pistons. They had to contend with the Sixers. The Bucks was always in the mix. The Knicks were still in the mix. The Cavs were in the mix. Ron Harper, Larry Nance, Craig Elo, and those guys. These teams were in the mix. Then Reggie came to Indiana. Now he's in the mix. The Hawks, hey, old school Dominique fan. Hawks was always in the mix. Right? So you got to contend with that. You got to slay these giants to represent the E. And then the Lakers. They got to contend with the Blazers. They got to contend with the Mavericks. Mark Aguirre and them boys. They had to sound like Stephen A. Mark Aguirre and them boys. They had to contend with the Sonics. They had to contend. Try this again. The Rockets, the Blazers, the Sonics, the Mavericks, the Suns, Utah, John Stockton, Karl Malone. Even in their earlier days, but even as they look at all this that's happening. So on the way to that, you got to contend with this. Matter of fact, one of the finals we missed out on, as much as the Lakers and Celtics did play in the finals, was that 86 finals when Bill Walton and them, when the Celtics won, they ended up beating the Rockets in 6. But that was the year that, a lot of people talk about that Celtics team is one of the best teams of all time. Isaiah Thomas has said that too. Just with the ball movement and all the kinds of things, everybody was on the same page. They ended up playing the Rockets, though, because the Rockets ended up upsetting the Lakers. There you go. You know what I'm saying? The Trailblazers, right? Like you had to contend, and all these teams didn't like each other like that. They weren't out hanging with each other like that. They were hanging, but they weren't hanging. Like, they didn't like I said, a lot of them still. One of my favorite stories is D Wade talking about the 75th anniversary, right? And he was talking about Isaiah. I just seen this clip recently. He's talked about it before, but this clip, just the way he told the story, was funny. So he said, like, everybody's in lined up by position. So it's him, it's Steph, it's Isaiah, all these players. And Isaiah's sitting there, and Isaiah just kind of got a little scowl on him. And so uh uh at this time, Magic and Michael had walked in. So him and Steph, D Wade and Steph are like, oh man, that's Magic, that's Michael, this is cracking. So Isaiah's kind of standing there. So D Wade goes over to him, was like, hey man, Isaiah, what's wrong? And Isaiah goes, back there. And Isaiah turns around, D Wade turns around and sees Michael Jordan. He's like, damn, y'all still beefing? Like, we talk about however many years later. And that's what I'm saying. Now, I'm not saying y'all got to be beefing 30 and 40 years later. I'm not saying that. But what I am saying is that's real. A lot of that cat, like, when people come back and do certain things and they wave at the crowd and it's like, it's all good. It's all good. But trust me, there's still a lot there, right? And that attitude is what made the competition what it was. You know what I'm saying? There was all these there was all these little rivalries. You know what I mean? And the way the NBA is showing out now in the playoffs is similar. Because I asked this question in November, early December, when me and Ricky had this conversation. And I was like, man, where's the rivals? Name two teams right now that don't like each other, that just don't like each other. And he couldn't name them. And I'm like, that's a big part of the story because that affects how people play. So now, if the ball is, if the perception is there's just only threes being shot, guess what? There's no proximity in how the game's being played. So guess what? There's no conflict. Nobody's getting the ball passing the post, and you over here defending me in the post, and I go to make a move, and you try and be whatever, and I make a move over you, and I get an and one, and now I'm talking to you about it because you up on me. Get up off, man. Get up off me as I catch this ball. And then, oh, you won't try and get up on me? Okay, I got to do a little something on you. You know what I'm saying? Like, hey, that's the thing. Hey, talking about when they was talking about Mad Max said he could guard Magic, and Magic, hey, what the B Scott said, he was sky mixing Max ass to death. You know what I'm saying? Hey, like, come on, man. And in that, there's a certain dialogue that happens. And then as a result, there are on the court, it's a confrontational style of basketball. In a lot of ways, it can be perceived as non-confrontational, which then can come off to the viewer as indifferent. And again, I say this out of love, because right now what's going on in the playoffs is not that. Right now, if teams kind of stayed put, I can point to 5, 6, 7, 8 matchups right now that I would be looking forward to. I can't wait till they're on the calendar. If teams pretty much stay put. Bucks, Pacers, I can look forward to that. Now, Giannis probably ain't going to stay put because it's hard to do 30, 15, and 12 and lose. It's hard. It's hard. Heart goes out to my brother. That's hard. Don't mean that they weren't trying. I was telling somebody that, like, even in game 4, where they ended up losing by 22, I said, but it wasn't a 22-point game. The working margin was probably like 8, 9 to like 13, 14 for a while. Anytime Milwaukee came back, would cut it, Indiana would hit some really timely shots to just equalize it real quick right now. And so they were playing hard. It wasn't like they weren't. The Heat, the last game, I ain't got nothing. Heat and the Cavs, I ain't got nothing. I don't even want to bring it up. I'm only bringing it up in relation to what we're talking about now. But I can point to matchups now because everything matters. And what I mean by that is the possessions. It's the possessions. Every possession matters. So now it still means a big deal. A big 3 now means a big deal, which means you're going to be more judicial in how you take your threes. You know what that leads to? Better offensive sets. You know what that leads to? A way better chess match. So now the coaches have to chess match this out. The players chess matching it out. Hey, man, that's one thing I can't, and I'm not saying everybody else don't, but like you look at some of the older you can see like Steph in the games, whenever they pan to him, he chewing on that dang mouthpiece. You can see the wheels turning. You can see the chess match. You can see it. It's the breakdown of everything. If I catch the ball here and they sag off here, if I get him to move here, I can do this. And as a result of me doing this, I can either do this or this will be open. And when you're all on the same string, even if the play is open 3 passes from you, when you're all on the same thread, when you make the first pass, that pass understands that now the best play is 2 passes away. Did they make that pass to that person? And that person says, this next pass is where this is supposed to go in order for us to get the shot we're looking for. Therein lies the chess match, because defensive now is being played at a certain way. And again, going back to the skill level, you guys are the most skilled. So now when you put that level of physicality in there, that level of importance in there, and it's on display, and y'all ain't like each other, and y'all hey man, they out here pushing and shoving. I love it. Everything's a problem. Everybody getting on my damn nerves. I love it. If you ain't wearing my colors, you ain't on my team, I love it. Now think how quickly now everybody stays put, and this is coming from a fan, because again, Giannis, I understand you got to get your bread. I understand there's a couple other players. You got to get your bread. I understand. But from a fan standpoint, where you can still get your bread, but from a fan standpoint, imagine Giannis don't go nowhere. Now, Milwaukee would need to get help, because Giannis has gone, I think the stat is 30 and 15. He's averaged 30 and 15 over his last 10 playoff games, and he's 1 and 9 in those playoff games. Can't happen. He's too good. Can't happen. So, can't happen. Can't happen. Can't happen. So I understand. But if he stays put, Bucks Pacers, every time they on the calendar, I'm watching it. Because I don't even got to go that far back to wait for those kind of matchups. Remember the Heat Pacers when LeBron was on the Heat? Those Heat Pacer games? Yeah, regular season game. Man, some of my favorite games to revisit are actually some regular season games as opposed to the playoff games. But that's how much it was played at that level. Again, I brought up Lakers Kings. Even in the regular season, it's a big deal. Bars were selling out. You could not go to a bar. When the Lakers series and the Lakers Kings Western Conference series that went 7, you had to get early to get into a sports bar, because otherwise there was no seats available. That's what I'm talking about. Right? Warriors Kings had a good shot at that over the last couple of years. Too many parts have moved now. De'Aaron Fox isn't there anymore, and that's pretty much that. De'Aaron Fox isn't there anymore. Mike Brown isn't there anymore. But like, imagine if we were able to keep that squad, main players still there, DeBontis, hell, even Malik Monk, obviously De'Aaron Fox, right? Lakers King, Warriors Kings, when they played a couple years ago, what was that, last year? No, year before. Yeah, 2 years ago. 2023 this time. When they played in that 7-game series, it was going down up north. What? The light, the beams was real. Where's the beam tonight? Like when the Kings lost, shout out to Royce, you black mother. Because Royce is a diehard Warriors fan, Oaktown representing, throwing it. Hey, giving it up. Everybody know me, knows Oakland, one of my favorite places on earth. So I'm always going to get Oakland been good to me. I'll tell you what, the Bay in general, I love the Bay. I'm a Bay guy. I love it. Sacktown represent, but I do give my shouts out to the Bay because I've had some good times. Thank you. Appreciate you. We'll continue to have more. Hey, y'all, roof. But then that story isn't. So if everybody stays put, now look at all the storylines next year. Knicks, Pistons, they don't like each other. Pistons is a young upcoming team. If the Knicks happen to win, imagine if they meet next year. Now the Pistons got to try and slay the dragon. Right? Bucks, Pacers. Every time that's on the docket, watch it. Right? Nuggets, Clippers. Everybody pretty much stay put every time they're playing next year because they ain't liking each other. Everybody I named, they ain't liking each other. Knicks, Pistons don't like each other. Bucks, Pacers don't like each other. Ain't no secret. You know what I'm saying? Clippers, Nuggets are not liking each other. Rockets and Warriors ain't liking each other. Lakers and Timberwolves ain't liking each other. You know what I mean? It's respect, but we ain't liking each other. I'm trying to blow your head off. Pause. Ain't liking each other. Even the Thunder and the Grizzlies, if Ja was healthy, they win game 3. They win game 3 in the manner that they won it. They come and win game 4. There's going to be some problems in that series. Oklahoma City would have won, most likely. But what I'm saying is there'd be some problems, physicality problems, because it was going that way anyway. And it was still that way. I mean, you know, last 2 games, even with Ja not being on the floor, Memphis could have won those last 2 games. Right? It was physical. It's high quality basketball. Everything means. I understand it's 82 games, but it's been 82 games for years. Right? So as a love letter, this is what I'm saying. And it did get cracking. Me and Ricky had that conversation, and we have had to have another conversation as the regular season has gone on and said, hey, it done got cracking though. We've both had to say that. And I think Christmas Day, now that I'm thinking about it, was probably the jump off. Christmas Day was probably the jump off. That was probably the jump off because all those games, if I remember correctly, were really good. And the Lakers and the Warriors was the spotlight game, and that game went down. And LeBron and Steph have went down throughout the year from that point. Like all those games went down. You know, and then the Lakers caught fire even before Luka got there. And then Luka gets there, brings a whole nother element to the game. But then the Cavs and Thunder have some good games. The Nuggets and Celtics had good, like there were some really good matchups that lived up. It started going down. And teams started going on some good little runs. It started going down. We had to have a conversation about that. Like, hey, man. And I think Christmas started that. You know? And then All-Star Weekend is a whole nother subject. It was So you think the momentum is kind of leaving, and then at some point they get back at it. What I'm saying now is compelling. I know people are watching it. They're tuned in. It's compelling basketball. People don't like each other. Let's go. Let's see the highest. Because here's the reality. People want to see what they don't think they can get anywhere else. If it's played in an indifferent style, then people feel like it almost looks pickup to me. I was thinking about this when I was watching the game because me and a couple of my boys, shout out to Amir and Kabir, we went to a Kings Clippers game back in like late November, right? And this is a word they'll probably both roll their eyes whenever they see this because I use the word indifferent a lot. Now, I was talking about the Kings, but overall, there was just an indifference, right, about the way the game was being played. It was just like, oh, you shoot, you miss, oh, get a rebound, oh, you score, oh, a couple clap. You know what I mean? It was like, nah, man, hey, man, let's get it cracking out here, you know? And so that and along with the other games I was watching, that's what made me call Ricky, and we had a good discussion about it because it was bothering me. It was getting on my dang nerves. And so, but they had ratcheted up. And again, I say all that to say right now, I'm gonna tell y'all right now, the Laker game is far over. I paused it, but it only lasts an hour, and I'm sure I've been talking for more than an hour, but I needed to record this again, and I'm glad that I did. For whatever this is worth. Hope we having a good time on here, but it's 11:15 Pacific Standard Time, Wednesday, April 30th, 2025. So today, right now, the NBA cracking because these games, it matter. They don't like each other, and it's showing. And I like the style. Now you put that skill level with the attitude and the edge and the grit. Now you'd be able to have a good argument, old, new. Like all the new heads, there'd be an argument if they decided to play with that fervor, and now you got this skill set too, and the post game isn't a bit because you see it's more just being big is more prevalent. A lot more shots in the paint. Minnesota was killing the Lakers in the paint, and that was a big difference in the series, right? So now you start to realize how important it is to be able to have the ability to be able to score. That's why I don't understand why when they say the big man is lost, how? Where would you want to shoot? Let's just be mathematics. 23.9 is further than 8 feet. Don't mean I don't want to shoot this 23.9 shot, but I'm not going to only look for this shot when I can make a move and go get a good 10-foot shot. Buckets. Let's roll. Talking about the best ever. We talking about Jordan. We talking about Kobe. They were masters at this, savants, amongst others. I'm just naming them. D. Wade, Paul Pierce. The list goes on and on. There's plenty of others, right? That makes for really good basketball and high-level basketball. The NCAA champion, NCAA all throughout, but the Final Four was cracking. It was high level. Florida and Auburn, SEC battle, high level. High level. Any one of those teams you win, not surprised. Houston and Duke, Houston, ironically, and I say I was rooting for Calvin Sampson. I'm sorry, I don't mean to be biased, but I was. It's just ironic the way that they beat Duke is the way that they lost to Florida in a similar way. So shout out to Calvin Sampson, man. That's tough. I was rooting for you, my brother. I was rooting for you. But Coach of Florida is the real deal. He's young too. And if he's the real deal, Florida's going to be that good for a really long time because they're good. All those teams are good though. But it's good basketball, especially when there's a lot at stake. You go play on a pickup run, you're going to give some effort. Hey, man, I can't stay. Hey, look, I'm from Sac. My particular section I'm from, North Highlands. So everybody in the Highland section, that's been a part of this know what I'm talking about. I call it the trifecta, the triangle. That's my own personal term. So if it becomes popular in Sacramento and we call this triangle, know that I'm the one. Don't be trying to take my stuff, or give me props. But I call it the triangle because in the Highlands, it's Highlands, Center, Foothill. Those are the OG high schools, right? And Center's the newest one. And excuse me. And we're still talking about a school that's almost 50 years old, 40 years old. So post high school, as adults, every now and again we'd have these Highland Center matchups. You know what I'm saying? So shout out Nick Eccles. That's my man. R.I.P. Me and Nick Eccles all used to be matched up because he'd be playing on the Highland side. Nick is my guy. We went to Sac State together along with all of us at Sac State, right? But Nick was one of the neighborhood guys that went to Sac State. DP, shout out to D. He's one of the neighborhood guys went to Sac State, right? So, but we always, so at Sac State, we chilling, we doing the, drinking and all the things. We super hanging out. Woo. But then it'd be like, hey man, Highland Center, meet up at the youth center on this date. Woo. And so me and Nick would be matched up each other. And you talk about post battles, boy, it'd be all kind of and Nick was quiet, but he would talk to me, you know what I'm saying? Because he would say, hey, look at you, always out here talking, you know what I'm saying? Like if you had a good move on me, see, you're always out here talking, you know what I'm saying? Then I'd have to come back, that's all I'm saying. That's on that level. Come on, man. If that's going to be on this level, as somebody, and this is where I can say from the fans that have been critical, as somebody who's coming to pay good money to come watch, if I'm going to see this on a pickup game, I need to see this at the highest level with here. That's why Kobe used to criticize the All-Star game. He'd be like, man, I see you guys running hard at the UCLA runs. Like, this is the best 12, 24 players. Let's get out here and get it cracking. Now, obviously, you don't want to get injured, but man, that's what they came to see. Let's give them what they want. Shout out. That's what I'm saying. Kobe was that dude, man. Shout out, man. Blessings to Kobe, the whole fam. Kobe is, if you hear me reference Kobe, it's ironic because, again, Kings fan, The fact that I gotta have some sort of Laker or anything only because of Braun, it still doesn't sit right with me in a lot of ways. But Braun's my guy, and so I'm always gonna root for Braun. Just on GP, just like I root for. I don't even Timberwolves and Lakers playing. I love Ant-Man. You know what I'm saying? So it's like hey, Ant-Man from Georgia, he from the ATL, and just his whole way and style. I was like, man, we might be related, my brother. I feel like there might be some Georgia backwood. My dad from Reynolds, Georgia. Shout out to Reynolds, Georgia, baby. I feel like there could be some sort of relation or something. I don't know. Everybody big and black that's from the South, I feel like I'm related to. You know what I'm saying? Anybody big and black, I feel like I mean like being Deontay, but Deontay last name is Wilder. Being Deontay Wilder, I feel like he from Tuscaloosa, Alabama, man. I got a lot of Birmingham and all kind of parts. I got all kind of on the Wilder side of my family. That's all I've been through them parts. I'm like, man, we related to. I feel like anybody big and black, especially from the South, anywhere that I know of, I'm like, man, we related. You know what I'm saying? So I'm just showing love. But me and Deontay Wilder, oh, I wouldn't be surprised if we did a linear tree or something and there was some relation because that's real. Ant-Man, I'm just trying to be cool. You know what I'm saying? I just try to associate myself with a cool cat. But Deontay, it's the same thing, but I also feel like there could be some legitimacy there. You know what I'm saying? Although I feel like Ant-Man is a lot of similarities. I see a lot of things. You know what I'm saying? Yeah, anyway. So I'm saying that to say them two playing each other, there's that. But there is Ant-Man wants to be great. So it's people like that that are going to restore, because in that journey for him to be the best, he gonna have to slay some dragons. You know what I'm saying? There's a lot of people even in his group that ain't willing to give it up easy. You think Luke is gonna be willing to give that up easy? You think Joker gonna be willing to give that up easy? I know he ain't the youngest, talking about Joker, but he's still, these people ain't gonna be willing to give that up. Look, hey, the OGs ain't willing to give it up. They still out here. Braun is 40, 22nd season. Played over 3 whole seasons extra worth of basketball. That's how many playoff games he's played. And at 40, he's still out here being one of the most relevant names on the court at all times. Again, you heard me give the Jordan accolades. This is why I don't like to get into the debate, because you can't argue the Jordan accolades, but also with Braun and everything I'm saying, come on, dog. I just don't think people realize what we seeing to be able to play and to be able to have evolved through all the different phases that basketball has evolved into with respect to style of play and still be every bit as relevant today as you were when you first came in. It was a different style then. It was a lot more physical style, what we talking about, right? Even in those days, it was the Cavs Pistons. That's when LeBron scored 29 or 30 in a row. He had to get through the Pistons, Cavs Pistons, Cavs Celtics, right? You know what I'm saying? Cavs Wizards. That was a hotly contested one. A lot of people forget about that. That's when Damon Jones was on the Cavs. You know what I'm saying? Cavs Wizards, right? This is what I'm saying. Even then, it was, hey man, we ain't liking you, you don't like me. You know? So that's what the people want to see. You know what I'm saying? That's what the people want to see. Again, that's my love letter to the NBA. Let's keep this up because we're in a really good spot right now. And I mentioned LeBron because I mentioned this on the first one and it came natural. And I just want to touch on it again because it's a fun conversation. But I mentioned when LeBron left Cavs and went to the Heat, and then I'll get to the little storyline, and then I'm going to see who won. Because I think I'm even past. I'm not going to be able to watch the end. I think it's past an hour. So I just got to hope the Lakers won simply because I want the story to go. Obviously, I love Bron. You know what I'm saying? So I'm obviously, I mean, I love Ant-Man too, but Bron is older. I got plenty of time to root for Ant-Man, and I'm grateful for that. But I would all those fails. I want them to extend the series because this was a series that I really wanted to see go 7. And then once we had 7, let's see who win. May the best man win. But I would like to at least see them stretch it to 7. That's why I wish they would have got one of those games in Minnesota that they should have got, that Minnesota out closed them. Let's call it what it is. So I was hoping, especially the game on Sunday, I was hoping the Lakers would close that. That way it'd be 2-2. And then if Minnesota won, it was still, we still got action. We still got play, but we still got action. Like I said, hopefully the Lakers win simply for the sake of competition and being able to see this go. I was watching the game. My plan was to watch the game. That's why I recorded it as it was, but I lost the recording and I couldn't rest without doing this. And I wanted to watch it, but it was take away from what I was doing here. I paused it and I didn't think I was going to be going this long, and I'm still going. It is what it is. But the Kevin Durant thing, there wasn't a Kevin Durant thing. I brought up Kevin Durant, and I'm not going to spend as much time as I did in the previous one that you'll never see. But it goes to my spirit in the competition. And here's what I mean. And I, by no means, I'm not casting aspersions at all. I'm really just trying to recite factually how I don't think I think even looking back in hindsight, I realized more the ramifications of that move than even at the time, even though I realized it was a big move at the time. Here's what I mean. So a lot of people compare when KD went to Golden State to LeBron going to Miami. But the difference is what I said. LeBron went to Miami to beat the Celtics. Now, I personally would like him to be a Cav. It would have been cool if he was a Cav the whole time. You know what I'm saying? This is Candace Ann calling me, but I'm not going to answer. I'll call her right back as soon as I'm done. I'm a little worried she's calling me at this time of night, though. Hold on real quick. What up? Oh shit. Recording something. Is everything okay? Is it an emergency? That's just gonna have to be in the recording. Okay, let me call you back. I shouldn't have answered that. I gotta start listening to myself. That's one of the ways I lost the first one. I answered and I need to stay in my vibe. Protect your vibe, you guys. Protect your vibe. And it's not anything wrong. I shouldn't have answered. Nobody did anything wrong. That was my sister. That was my beautiful, wonderful sister. Um, um, yeah, that's unfortunate. That's unfortunate. Um, that's unfortunate. That's unfortunate. Bad news. I shouldn't have answered. I shouldn't have answered. But anyway, I'm gonna stay on my flow. But RIP. RIP. Damn. Mm. Tangle web we weave, you guys. This thing called life be life, and y'all. I shouldn't have answered though. I should have called her back. I was just concerned. It's late. It's late. I was just concerned. I was just concerned. Dang. Be protective. Be protective, guys. Just protect your energy. Nobody did anything wrong, but now I'm on this and I was on a good roll. So we'll get back to it. Because I feel like now I need to address what happened, but I don't want to be speaking out of turn. And um, it's another blow to my family. Me and my family, we've been through a lot these last few years. And anybody who sees this and knows who I am, you know, and knows, you know, we've all had tough struggles. So I'm not putting my struggles above anybody's. It's not what I'm doing at all. It's been really, really hard for a lot of people. So I by no means am trying to say I got the game locked on struggles, but it's been a tough go at it, man. It's been a lot of loss. 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 So Just taking a moment. Maximize your time, y'all. Maximize your time. Just maximize your time. My suggestion, everything ain't perfect, right? You know, you don't want to act like everything is kumbaya because a lot of times people don't want to hear that either. Like, oh, when you come with a lot of cliched positive reinforcement. But a lot of times that be true, man. You just got to keep going. Like, that's on me. I shouldn't answer that, but life happens. I answered another call and I had to kind of get back in the groove. And so now I did the same thing twice. I feel like I was being tested and didn't pass either time. But whatever, here we are. So what I was saying is Kevin Durant, and mind you, I'm only saying this because I feel like he was capable. If I didn't feel like he was capable, I wouldn't really be tripping that he went to Golden State. But I would have liked to see Kevin Durant go to a situation where he was going to slay the dragon. And in this situation, he had two of them. LeBron was the obvious dragon, simply because he was LeBron, and he lost to him in the finals, but just in stature, face of the league, who's the biggest dog on the block? LeBron was a dragon. But Steph now has been a dragon too now. Because you were up 3-1. You know what I'm saying? Look. Wow. Okay. If you guys have ever watched Another Mother, and if Lisa watches this, and when she watches it, she'll get a kick out of this. So, like, speaking of times it's been a little hard, Lisa always feels like that stuff just happens, right? And Lisa feels like that's the that's Zipporah and Chuck, because a lot of times it'll appear like a little orb, and like to me it looks like a thumbs up. Lisa noticed it. I didn't notice it. And then finally I noticed it like after 3 or 4 times. If you go watch our podcast, you'll see what I'm talking about. Another Mother, you know what I'm saying? The Real Aunt Wild, like and subscribe, please. Official Lisa Renee, like and subscribe, please. We appreciate you. Love you, appreciate you, all those kinds of things. But then, so there would just be these little things that happen, like it was the balloons, you know what I'm saying? And that happened when I did the recording that y'all aren't able to see because I didn't realize it wasn't a recording. If you see me looking down here, I'm still making sure it's recording because if I lost this one, I don't even know what to do. I go, in the words to Pori, I go spit. I'd be so disgusted. And that happened then too. And so there was a certain wavelength I was on. I didn't know if I'd be able to catch it again. And then I got the news that I got. I sat in the moment and then just moving on and see it's real out here, man. But Steph was another dragon, in my opinion, that he needed to slay. Steph and the Warriors. And honestly, I think the Thunder would have been the best team coming back the next year, everybody included. Now, they would have still had to go win, but I thought they was going to be the best team. I thought they had the best shot. They shouldn't have lost to the Warriors. In my humble opinion, and mind you, Billy Donovan's a way better coach than me, so I'm not questioning him. But I feel like the Thunder went up 3-1 in that series because they were just bigger. They were bigger and stronger, and the Warriors were small. And for Steven Adams, obviously Kevin Durant. Kevin Durant obviously is a perimeter-based player, but at the end of the day, he is still 6'11 and long. Like I went to a Kings game last year when he was playing the Suns, one of the games towards the end to determine who was going to be in the play-in. And I was standing there. I have a video. And I'll repost the video. I repost it on Facebook. I'll repost it. I'm standing there. I'm not small, man. I'm 6'4". I'm looking up at the cat. I'm like, God dang, these cats is tall. So they were just way bigger. And then I feel like Billy Donovan kind of played into the Warriors' strategy by going a little smaller, right? And they were able to climb out of that 3-1 hole. Then I feel like Ty Lue in the next series started off a little smaller. Warriors went up 3-1, and I feel like Ty Lue said, well, shit, bump it. If we're going to lose doing playing our strength. So Timothy Mozgov started playing a lot more. Trenton Thomas started playing a lot more. The bigs started playing a lot more. We're just going to be bigger and more physical. And lo and behold, Cleveland was able to do what no other team has ever done, especially against a team who won 73 games. That right there, again, talking GOAT debate, I'm not going to talk it. But man, not to take anything away because I'm never going to dispute. I'm never even going to try and take anything away from MJ. Black Jesus, whatever you want to call it. There's nothing in your mid-30s. You come back and win 3 more championships. I don't give a heck who you playing against. You can call it what you want. That is monstrous. You know, I was it 34, 35, and 36 that he came back to win 3. He didn't leave at 25 and come back at 28. You know what I'm saying? He didn't leave at 25 and come back at 28. Now, October 6, 1993, Michael Jordan announced his retirement. On October 6, 1993, Michael Jordan was 30. So when he came back and won 32, 33, 34, okay. Still, though, still 32, 32, 33, and 34, he still came back and won 3. Man, that's back to back, like 3 peats. Makes you wonder about the Houston and Chicago series if we would have ever got that. I feel like that's the big fight that never happened, right? I feel like even though Floyd and Manny fought, it was just a little too late. I feel like it would have been better earlier, although the advantage still goes to Floyd because people be like, well, he fought Manny later. Well, he's still older than Manny. So, I mean, Floyd, you know what I'm saying? Like, that's another part of the argument. I do think they fought too late, but a lot of people feel like, well, that, Floyd fought him too late, as if Floyd was a young bull and waited for Manny to get old. Manny's never going to be older than Floyd. So that argument never really full-heartedly held with me as far as discrediting Floyd. I do agree they should have fought earlier. I don't deny that, but I also feel like, it's hard to discredit. What you gonna do? Well, what was Floyd doing? Not fighting? He was fighting too. They were older, and he was older than Manny. So, but I feel like that would have been interesting to see that because, in my opinion, as great as the players were, because they were those were good teams, man. Those Pacer teams, those Jazz teams, those Knicks teams, those Heat teams, they were good teams, bro. Those Sonics teams, they were good teams, you know, and the Kings were coming up on the back end of that, and then Shaq went to the Lakers, and they were still good, but they couldn't get, Utah was in the way. San Antonio, especially once they got Tim Duncan. I know that was the later 90s, but still, right? But those are good teams. Phoenix, Charles, I mentioned Houston. The Bulls, I don't know if Michael Jordan in that era had to play against another team in a 7-8 series who the player was as good as he was as far as the impact they had on the game. I'm not saying Akeem was Jordan. What I am saying is with respect to the Rockets and Lakers, there was another player on the team who was just as unstoppable as Michael Jordan was. And I would have been very interested to see how that played out in a 7-game series, especially considering the surrounding cast, because they had a very good surrounding cast. It would have been very good, interesting matchups. Kenny Smith matched up against their point guard, and Ron Harper Ron Harper did play, but he would probably even have to play a lot more. Steve Kerr, but you still got to find ways to get Steve Kerr in there. And now you got Robert Horry. That's a Scottie Pippen type matchup. Akeem against whatever center. So then what are you going to do? You're going to put Dennis Rodman on him? That leaves you really small. And Akeem being the master person that moves and passing and defense and blocking and steals. That'd have been a very interesting matchup. Can get a bucket at any time. That's where Michael Jordan killed you. When it comes down the stretch, I know I can get buckets. Kobe killed you. I come down the stretch. I know I can get these buckets. Those closers. That's why they got closers. That's why they call closers. Right? Akeem was the most dynamic person in those matchups. So that would have been interesting to see. That was a big heavyweight fight that never happened, for sure. You know, for sure. But again, Michael Jordan and them, they were the Warriors. That team never had to beat the Warriors, especially being down 3-1. That's just the reality. Not making no debates, because you've heard me sit here and give Jordan props all night. Because how can you not? Is he the GOAT? Sure. Somebody came up to me and said LeBron's the GOAT. I'm not going to really argue with you too much on that either, be honest with you. I know why you would feel like you would say that, considering the career and all that. But you can't deny MJ, right? So I brought that portion of it up because, man, down 3-1 to come up against that team and win, that's big. And so now let's stay there. Cleveland wins. So now KD says, I think they would have probably had the better chance. They would have had a premier chance that next year if OKC stays put. But even if KD says, I don't think I can win with this team. I don't know if me and Russ can coexist anymore. I need a different situation. I personally, because I think KD is good enough to pull this off. Again, if I didn't think he was good enough to pull this off, I wouldn't have this opinion. But in the spirit of competition, because this is all going back to competition, that's what I'm saying. It's not even really an indictment on KD. KD is, come on, man. Don't let me get started on what KD is as a basketball player. That's not no attack on any of that. It's because of him being the basketball player he is the only reason I have this opinion. I would have loved to see now what that looks like if KD took the same mentality that LeBron did from the standpoint of, I got to slay these dragons. I don't know if I could do it in OKC. I would have liked to see him stay in OKC because, again, in the spirit of storytelling, that would have been awesome. But I don't know if I can. I know public, that'd be awesome, but I don't know if I can get it done in OKC. Where I thought he was going to go, where a first interesting place would have been if he went to the Wizards. And I'll tell you why. Because at that time, they had John Wall, they had Bradley Beal, and they had the big, what's the big's name? The big white dude, foreigner. God, I can't remember his name. Sorry. And now KD joins that. He's from DC, right? Scott Brooks was the coach at the time. I actually gave Scott Brooks a ride in my Uber once, and we had this conversation. Shout out to Scott Brooks. Scott Brooks used to be the coach of the Thunder when the Thunder went and lost against the Heat, right? So I would have really liked to see that. I would have really liked to, that would have been a cool story, right? Obviously, he didn't feel like DC was a place. I understand, whatever. But that would have been a cool story. But where that would have been changing conferences too. So changing the balance of power in that way. But what I really would have liked to see, again, if you're going to leave, even if you feel like you got to go team up, I would just want it in the spirit of slaying the dragon. And in that sense, where I really, when it came up that he might be thinking about leaving, where I was really interested to see if he would pick was the Spurs. Now dig that. Because that's when Kawhi was on the Spurs. In fact, that first year KD was at the Warriors when they matched up with the Spurs in the Western Conference Finals, the Spurs was tapping that ass. Pause. Up until Jaja Cheap Shot, in the words of Skip, stuck his leg out. Kawhi fell on, messed up his whole ankle and all that. He was out the rest of the series. Warriors ended up sweeping the series because Kawhi was literally the glue holding them together. But Kawhi was that good at that time to where they were up and possibly could have won that series. Now imagine KD go team up with that in the Greg Popovich system. Now, mind you, he gonna be good in Golden State because KD gonna be in good in pretty much any system because he's that good. He's super efficient. He can literally give every shot he wants, a la back to what I was even talking about with Larry Bird. Now, obviously, KD is more athletic and all the things, but I'm saying being that height matters. He's one of the best shooters in the history of the league. Off the dribble, off the catch, off the, you know what I'm saying? Off the spin move, can literally hit every shot on the floor and is 6'11". And once he realized how tall he was and started playing decent defense, he became a pretty good defensive player because he's really long and he's really smart and he's really good. He's hecka good. So yeah, he's gonna go to Golden State. He was the best, and he's gonna go to Golden State and fit in. But that's not even an indictment on him. He was the best player. Steph might have been the most important player, but he was still the best player. He got 2 Finals MVPs. I would have liked to see that in a slay the dragon mentality type fashion. I'm gonna go get here. I'm gonna go establish myself. I'm sick of y'all. I'm sick of you, Steph. Love you, bro, but I'm sick of you. So I'm gonna come retooled either with this team or I'm coming with the Spurs. And me and Kawhi gonna come in here and bust that yang. You know, hey, circle this date next year. We'll be back. We'll meet here again. Whether it's the finals, semifinals, first round, wherever. We're gonna meet again. I'm gonna tap the tail. So stay tuned. Stay right here. I'll be right back. And then after I get done with you, LeBron, I'm coming for you too. Because I know y'all gonna be in it too. I'm gonna come for you too. Avenge my loss. You know what I'm saying? You know what I mean? When I was at OKC, even if I'm at the Spurs now and you at Cleveland now, I'm still avenging my loss. I'm coming for you too. Seemed like he was coming for LeBron. Man, come get these cats, man. They all in your backyard too. You don't go join them. If LeBron went and joined the Celtics, okay, but now I got to go beat the Celtics. And again, if I didn't think KD was good enough to make that decision and be successful at it, I wouldn't say anything. You know, and I hope the compliments are getting heard as much as the little feedback I'm giving, because I'm only talking about the spirit of competition. I'm not saying you're a bad guy because you made the decision. I think as a result of that, talking about the ramifications though, I think there was a little couple year period where there was a anti-competitive clause, I think, with the rest of the league. You know what I'm saying? Waiting for the next Bulls to come up to kind of make it a thing. The Bulls that we're seeing now, the Jokic's, right? The Ant-Mans, the Shea Gilgerouses, right? The Donovan Mitchells, right? You know what I mean? The Jason Tatum's, Jaylen Browns, right? Jalen Brunson, right? The Kay Cunninghams, who's showing his tail paws in the playoffs, right? The Lucas, the ice trays, right? You know, the Wimby-Giannas, but these are later guys. But I'm talking about even before the balance of power was so shifted, and it wasn't like that, because even when Chris Paul was with the Rockets, Chris Paul don't get hurt, they might beat them in that series too, right? I mean, they go 0 for what, 34 from the free throw line in Game 7, was still in the game the whole time. You know, so it doesn't mean they were unbeatable. I'm just saying the balance of power really shifted. And so as a result, there was that storyline would have had a lot of fruit, because even though Toronto came in and won, Toronto did come in and win, but KD didn't play. As dope as Kawhi was, I think he played some of the basketball in its history of a run, honestly. I put that run up there with anybody's, you know what I'm saying? Like, he had a good run on that finals run. KD wasn't at the end of it, though. right? So I don't know. Do they beat them? It's a great story that Toronto won. It's kind of like the Ivan Drago story in Rocky when Rocky hit him and then he finally cut Drago and he was like, he's cut. He's cut. You know what I'm saying? You see, he's not a machine. He's a man, because he got cut. It was a chink in the armor, but then KD left, you know. So even with the chink in the armor, that would even be now if KD stays, right? See what I'm saying? But he left. He goes to Brooklyn with Kyrie and James Harden. And now imagine that if they were able to be healthy and gelled, how dangerous would that have been? Right? So right now we got a good because we get the old heads, the OGs they're still in here. Like I said, talking about giving it up easy. Hey, LeBron and Steph, you know why they still playing like this? They ain't trying to give it up easy. And then we'll even go the little younger OGs, but still OG, like the James Hardens, Kawhi. We getting mid-30s. They ain't trying to just give it to y'all easy. They're trying to be in here, right? That's that pride. That's what makes for good basketball. That's why you can always rely on the OGs to give you good basketball because they still play with that fervor. Kevin Durant's a part of that. If Kevin Durant's playing, you're going to get some good basketball. He's a part of that, right? But in the spirit of competition, that's my only, I wish that would have happened. You made your decision. Hey, listen, I'm not walking in your shoes. If anybody knows your decision and your situation better than me, it's you. So listen, I get it. I would have liked to see that. That would have made for excellent story. Because if you would have slayed that dragon, now even if you won two, because even if you don't win another, the two certain people, I'm not even saying I'm one of them people, but I am saying that the narrative is they kind of have some asterisks because you went and joined the super team. You go get two, whether it's back to back or just two in your stint, and you slayed the two dragons. Oh shoot, what's anybody gonna say about you? And now guess what? Now guess what? One of the people that you're compared to has two less too. Steph has two less. If you go slay the dragons, well, yeah, because you got two with them. So he might have the first Cleveland one, and then when they beat Boston, now you two with the. There's a whole lot of now it changes things, you know, just changes things, you know. So in the spirit of competition, I would have liked to see that. All that to say, the playoffs are cracking because the competition is really high and people aren't liking each other. And one thing I will touch on, and because my goal is each day, and they're not gonna all be long. This one's just really long because I don't think they're all gonna be long like this. But the Bucks and the Pacers, two teams that don't like each other. You see, I've said them a few times throughout the course of this telecast. Aroof. The big story is Tyrese Haliburton's pops, I believe John Haliburton, and how he approached Giannis at the end of the game. And I just think that's a case of John just got a little too big for his britches. John just got a little too big for his britches. You know what I'm saying? Real talk. And I mean that in a loving way. Obviously, because that's what Shaq and Charles were talking about, right? They were talking about, he's always on the floor. Well, just because he's on the floor don't make it right. You know what I'm saying? Like, if a guy's being physically abusive to this girl and he's like, oh man, I've been doing this since 90. Don't make it right. Even though you've been doing it, it don't make it right. What are we going to say today? Oh man, I've been doing this the last 5-6 years. Does that make it correct? Right? So in that spirit, I do get that, especially from this bigger than britches. And Shaq's argument, I understand Shaq's argument. I don't necessarily agree with it, but I do understand what he's saying. Like when he was saying Chuck and Kenny went soft. I understand what he's saying from the standpoint of that's part of the game because that fervor is what's making the quality of basketball that we're watching that I've been that I've been, praising the last however long I've been running my chops in my mill. You know what I'm saying? So I get that, right? Um, I get that. Um, that goes along with what I've been praising. However, the flip side to that is the reason why I say you got too big, he got too big for his britches. If you ever watch John, God bless you, shout out to you. Because I know you just had a love for your son and you just getting caught up in the thing and you've been talking, but according to reports, you've been talking but you're sticking up for your son. And I get it. It's father's love for the son and being playful, but being real, him being light skinned might have something to do with it. You know what I'm saying? Just being real, being playful, but I'm being real. Hey, look, as a chocolate brother, you chocolate brother, you know what I'm saying? Hey, look, I understand. I got the light skin empathy. You know what I'm saying? And I say that funny, but having love, I grew up in a very diverse community and parents was part of the Air Force. So in there, you see a lot of diversity, a lot of multi ethnic children that I grew up with, and you know what I'm saying, people from different places, and as a result, I got a lot of light skinned cats in my camp that I love to death, that are my guys that I could call on for anything, that will run in front of train for each other. So, you know what I'm saying? I got some light skinned folks in my camp. So I got the light skinned love. I understand. You know what I'm saying? Hey, man, you know what I mean? Don't be trying to, that might have some. And look, I'm just having fun with this, y'all. Please don't take this and run with it and make it seem like I'm saying I'm just having fun with it. But I'm saying that could be a part of, right? Even with that, you love your son, you're defending your son. They called him overrated. And the messed up part about that is now we're sitting here talking about the actions that you did on Giannis as opposed to talking about how not overrated your son is. Because he is not overrated. You know what I'm saying? Hey, look, they call him overrated. Sure. He signed one of the bigger contracts. Maybe some players don't feel like he deserved that contract in comparison to other players. Sure. Whatever you want to say. But overrated means he doesn't deliver the goods and he delivers the goods. In fact, I'm still mad we traded him. The Kings, that's what I'm talking about. Because I just felt like with somebody like that and De'Aaron, I know they were quote unquote point guards, and I'm not saying we made a bad decision in keeping De'Aaron because I've had this conversation. Me and Ricky have had this conversation. I'm sure me and Tanet have had this conversation. Shout out to Tanet. Um, but I just felt like there was a way to make that work, or at least a way to see if it could work a little longer, right? Because they both don't always need to have the ball. They both, I feel, have enough ability to play off of the ball and still be on the ball, right? Pause. So I just wish that, and then build the team around that. If they, I know we ended up getting DeMontis and it changed. I understand it, but I wouldn't have been mad to see if that would have worked from the standpoint of, I mean, they don't, I get the trade. I do. I mean, defense would have been a problem. It's easy to say that now because what he's done in Indiana, and I've always said that to people that be like, we should have kept Haliburton. I'm like, yeah, but a lot of times you don't get a chance to see them flourish until they go into a new situation, i.e., James Harden when he left OKC. He balled at OKC, but people always be like, man, he was at OKC like he was this version of James Harden that he's been since he left OKC. If he was at OKC, we don't know we would ever seen this blossom version because he had been playing with KD and Russ, and maybe his role would have never grown to the point that it grown when he went to Houston. Because when he went to Houston, it was Wild Wild West, right? Doors is open. It was Django, right? In a sense, not that he couldn't have balled in OKC, but you know what I'm saying. Tyrese Haliburton the same kind of way, right? But I think Tyrese Haliburton is good enough to where it was worth the shot to see if we still could have got this version working with De'Aaron Fox. That could have been pretty special if you would have did a good job surrounding them with the pieces they need. And we would have been able to get a really good big man, right? Because you know what helps Tyrese a lot? Miles Turner. Miles Turner is extremely underrated. He's very good. He plays his part perfectly in that particular situation. Indiana's actually a lot more feisty defensively than a lot of people give them credit for. So, um, it would just been interesting, but that's why Indiana's good and they're feisty. They got good surrounding pieces that are feisty. They play D. Miles Turner he can do everything. You know, like I said in the earlier when I went on a Jackson Hayes spill for the Lakers, because I feel like he's leaving a big opportunity out there because you being 6'10, 6'11, you're athletic, you can move, you can block shots. I think he's a pretty decent free throw shooter. In that situation, all you got to do to be able to do is move, block shots, be a good free throw shooter, and you'll get a lot of play in that system. You know, they need somebody big. That's what's going to help offset not only Minnesota, but other teams going forward if they happen to pull off the miracle and get through this, which I don't even know if they won tonight. I got to see when I stop filming. But I feel like you're leaving a big bag on the table, son. And if you want to model somebody, model Miles Turner. That's a good person to model to help get you the bag. Miles Turner can do it all. He can shoot threes. But when he's not happy on the threes and he's playing the big man's part and getting rebounds and dunking and blocking shots, man, are the Pacers good. And you can have that same effect with Luka, LeBron, and Austin. You can help free their games up even a lot more if you could take up that space. So I'm just saying, and somebody will be willing to pay you for that. Even if the Lakers, when it came time to get for you to get paid, even if the Lakers didn't, somebody would, i.e. Harkenstein, right? I think it was Mitchell Robinson got hurt last year. Harkenstein comes up. Look how he plays. He's reliable. He can hit the little elbow shot. He plays D. He got rewarded for it. Two good people to follow, but I went on that to illustrate how good Miles Turner is good. So Tyrese, so you're proud. So now you get too big for your britches, you go out on the court and you choose Giannis because he's the biggest star, one of the biggest stars on the planet. That would even be different if Dame, shout out to Dame Dollar. That would even be different if Dame was playing because they clearly ain't feeling each other. So if you went up to Dame doing all that, I could get that. I'm not saying it's warranted. I'm not saying it's right. But I could say, all right, he's feeling himself. You know what I'm saying? You know, he's feeling himself. And you know, Dame, you lost, so here I am now talking to you about it. Still not right. You're still too big for your britches. But even in that narrative of the story, I can say, okay. But you go to Giannis, who wasn't doing any of that. And now, because in that moment, what you did was you made it about you. Because again, now we're talking about you as opposed to the phenomenal game that your son had that won them the game. You know, capitalizing on some crucial mistakes. Shout out Gary Trent. I know that's tough. He had two crucial mistakes. And, you know, the game was won. You're up 7 with 40 seconds left to go. You got to win that game. So there's a lot of factors that go into that. But Gary Trent was the reason that they were in that position, and he had 2 costly turnovers. So I know that that's terrible for him. Shout out to him. But what I'm saying is even if Giannis was somebody who was just talking, even if he wasn't talking to Tyrese, but he was just talking a lot and egging on the crowd, but you know Giannis don't play like that. He's a silent killer. He gonna give you the work. But you know he wasn't doing all that, right? So you doing that to me gave the impression that you felt like you were above reprieve. That there was going to be no consequence for you doing that. Like you was totally fine in doing that. And Giannis could have left it alone after he shook your son's hand, Tyrese's hand. He did walk up to you and tell you about it again, but god dang, what's he supposed to do? You know, he probably could have handled that better, but you started it. And again, in the words of Shaq, that was what makes great basketball. It makes for an awesome storyline, all the things. Again, now imagine if they're able to come back retooled and they play the Pacers in the next round, and now they beat them next year. Now the Pacers have eliminated the last 2 years, but now the Bucks get them. And then now the next year, like that's we were able to get 4, 5, 6 year runs of these same storylines. Super compelling, bro. That's all I'm saying, right? But in that, you made it about you. Probably wasn't your intent. But that's what happened. So we talking about right or wrong. I just don't know if you really full like, and it's hard to say you were excited. I'm not even Monday morning quarterback because we all make doesn't make you a bad person or anything. Like let's keep it a buck. Like it just means that as a result of that, you may have eliminated some access that you had that you probably shouldn't have had anyway. Right? You was probably already too big for your britches, but they was giving you love. Tyrese Haliburton, let's keep it a real, is a marquee player. So you got extra fervor. But even LeBron had to tell his mom to sit her A down when I think they was playing Boston and they was in Cleveland. And Gloria was out there talking that Yang pie, and he had to tell her, man, sit down. I feel you now. Root for me as your son and as a fan of X, Y, and Z, but you over here getting all involved, man. I got to deal with that. Like, root over here, man. Sit down. Do over there. Be a fan, but you over here getting all in grown people business. I got to deal with that. Girl, sit down. Love you, mama. Gloria around and everything. Hey, man, listen. Shout outs. Love that whole story. But LeBron, one of the best ambassadors of anything you could ask for, had to tell his mama sit her A down. Right? So, you know, right or wrong, it wasn't the best decision. And unintentionally, I'll give you that benefit of the doubt. Unintentionally, you took a lot of the spotlight away from your son because your son did a phenomenal job in bringing that home and capitalizing on the Bucks' mistakes. And we talking about you. And I know that that wasn't what you wanted us to be talking about. You wanted us to be talking about him. So, because you might not be able to do that again. Even if they happen to go on and do something special, like the way the route was going, you was probably going to be able to be up there with the team like you one of the owners, sitting up there and, people cheering for you up there, just woo woo. That's how much access it seemed like they was giving you. I just don't think you're going to be able to get that access, after this situation. You feel me? So, touching on that, I just wanted to touch on that because that's what I touched on before, and I just wanted to make sure I did that again. So look, y'all. Uh, nice chat. Good chat. Hey, good talk. I'll be doing these. I fully intended on doing one tomorrow. Well, today now. It's now 12:08 a.m. Pacific Standard Time. May 1st. We're in May 2025. So I might do another one summing up the games tonight. I'm gonna figure out what happened here, see if I can watch the last 10 minutes or so. 'Cause I was watching it throughout, but I was really bummed about missing my episode, which is why I jumped on here again. I'm glad I did. It came out good. I think the first one was still better, but this one was still dope. So thank y'all, love y'all. Real Ant Wild. Like and subscribe. Go to if you want more information, buckle your seatbelts. Official Lisa Renee, like and subscribe. Buckle your seatbelts, July 26th, 2025, 8 p.m. at The Space. The venue is called The Space, Las Vegas, Nevada, not too far off the strip. Beyonce will be out there that weekend. She's going to do a Friday show. She was only doing a Friday show, but I think she added a Saturday show. And I'm like, dang, that'd have been perfect. We can come out Friday, but still come out Friday. Go see her Friday. Come see us Saturday. It's a really good show, man. Perfect testament of dope people. Perfect testament of phenomenal people. Like I said, I had a birthday and I did a surprise performance. Nobody knew I was performing other than the people who knew I was performing. But like, it wasn't like announced as part of the birthday party. So it's cracking. It's in SAC. Shout out SAC all day. 916 is at the Doubletree. Shout out to Doubletree off of Arden. It's cracking. Did a surprise performance and Lisa Renee and Suzanne Real, Christian Vuoncino, Susu as I call her. They helped me shut that thing down. You know what I'm saying? So buckle your seatbelts, and after that, I can't wait to show more. I can't wait for y'all to get the project and follow the journey front to back. And then when you hear their contributions to the project, you'll see what I'm talking about. You'll see what I'm talking about. It's awesome. It's awesome. Everybody that was on there. So it's coming. Pause, I guess. But be prepared. It's coming. That's the whole reason I even did this again. I couldn't let the devil win. He got one, man. I recorded for 2 hours. I ain't get none of it. So I came and did another 2 hours. I think I did longer this time, but I think I was a lot more long-winded this time. I think I was a little more concise on the first one, but this one's still good. And I love y'all and I appreciate y'all. There's good nuggets in here. You gonna keep this going? I'm definitely gonna do it every Wednesday, but as the playoffs are going, I'm gonna try and give little reviews of the playoffs and obviously throw some other game in there, talk music. You know, I can always talk music. But we'll see. Want to keep it fresh. I'll really do it if I can get others on here just to add some flavor. So we'll keep it going. But I'm gonna put this up. It's already Thursday morning, so I'll put it up in the morning. Maybe have it up at 9 a.m. Pacific Standard Time. And come check it out. Ant Wild talking my shut your mouth. Episode 1. And it's under the big umbrella of I don't know what the y'all doing, but right now in this current state, this is what the I'm doing. Anybody who's seen my videos already know what it's hitting for. Love y'all. Appreciate y'all. Word. Fresh. Dope. Sit with it. Awesome dude. Fabulous. Righteous. Regal. Kingly. Beastly. Thank y'all. Aru. Yeah.